Guelph. My name is Mike Hogan, along with Ben Grant, your lovable broadcast crew of the Grey Cup champion Toronto Argonauts. Tonight, they've got the Hamilton Ticats. Mr. Grant, how was your offseason?
It was great, except I'm really happy we're back to football. It just felt like those last few weeks actually went by with a pretty good pace, and here we are. We've got a few weeks now of CFL football in front of us. I can't wait to get this one going.
Still a big roster, over 80 football players with the Toronto Argonauts. They've got to get down to a 46-man roster, plus 10 on the practice squad, plus any that may be injured. That still means there's a lot of slicing and dicing to be done to the roster.
Yeah, you're going to see dozens of guys, unfortunately, who aren't on this team come next week, and that's the nature of preseason football. It's tough because these are all fantastic players. You've got a chance to be around these guys every single day and just see the talent, and they're coming from every corner of the United States and Canada, and in some cases around the world. Amazing athletes. It's sad to see so many of them go, but that's how it works, and we got to do it as part of the steps to get us to the regular season.
Go down for the coin flip in a couple of seconds. In fact, we'll do that right now. Our official tonight is Andrew Wakefield. I guess we're still a little bit away. What are you looking forward to most in terms of positional battles tonight?
I love offensive line battles. That's my favorite thing. It's probably the least favorite thing of all of our listeners, but I love offensive line battles. And there's so many good interior offensive linemen here for the Argos. We're also seeing Aneem Dankwa make his debut start at right tackle for the Argonauts. I think that's going to be pretty fun. And the combination of Moore and Dockstader have been so exciting to watch over the last couple weeks. I didn't foresee them as the pair that they have been so far. Let's see if that continues tonight.
Yeah, there are 9 Canadian offensive linemen still in camp. Yikes. Okay, I know they were having some problems with the officials' microphone before the game, so we'll pass on that. We apologize for the technical difficulties. Toronto's won the toss and are going to receive to start the game. So we'll get a chance to see the offense first. Argonauts wearing white jerseys, dark blue pants, wearing the roadies today, and the light blue helmets. Ticats black on black on black on black on black on black on black with the gold numbers. Fairly strong breeze here, moving from our broadcast location across your screen from left to right. And we'll take a look at the Toronto Argonauts special teams. And one of the guys that we're going to see back returning this kickoff, get used to this. Deontay McMahon, not Deontay McMahon. Last year, every year, as the communications manager, I asked the guys for the pronunciation of their name, just in case. Last year, it was Deontay McMahon. This year, he said Deontay McMahon.
I would like to have seen your double take.
I thought he was joking, because guys will do that. You know, like Ryan Hunter, for example, might say Ryan Hunte, something like that. Guys with the obvious names. I didn't believe him, but I went back and double-checked, and sure enough, he said, yeah, my family's always pronounced it that way. So he's going to drop back. He'll be one of the deep backs for the Argonauts, along with Jake Herslow.
And this is where a lot of jobs are going to be won and lost, too, on this special teams unit. Special teams coordinator Mickey Donovan, anytime he gets a chance in a game to see these guys interact, that's huge for him. It's really tough to duplicate it the same way in practice. I think even more so for special teams. So he is watching very carefully tonight because, yeah, some of these roster decisions will be made based on his say-so, I'm sure, based on these teams' units tonight.
The kickoff will be performed by the rookie out of Concordia, Eric Maximuk. They're just waiting for the clock to hit zeros, about 25 seconds away, and we'll have this game underway. Decisions. And you think, it's only a preseason game. For a couple of dozen players on these two teams, it could be the last professional game they ever see.
Yeah, this is the biggest moment in some of these players' lives. And you see so many families here, too, that have come up, and you know how much is riding on it for them, and they want to make sure they're here to support their family members who are fighting for jobs with this Toronto Argonauts club. And Hamilton, too, of course.
So we get the whistle. We're all ready to go. Maximuk takes a look. And here we go. Right foot will get it up in the air. And with the wind, it will go back to the 5-yard line. And here's McMahon at the 5, cuts to the middle of the field to the 20-25, looking for a block. He gets tripped up. Looked like he went down on his own, ends up going out to the 31-yard line. And that's where the Argonauts will take over. Cameron Dukes will come on. He'll be the first quarterback tonight. May see all 4. The third-year Argo out of Lindsey Wilson, who started 9 regular season games for the Argos a year ago.
Yeah, it's another interesting spot to watch tonight. The quarterback play, especially from Tucker Horn, has really impressed me. A guy I didn't know very much about. We'll see him, I'm sure, later on in the game. Dukes has struggled a little bit. He had a tough time last week, and we'll see if he can rebound out here with the starting unit. Didn't
know if it's Kadeem Carey tonight or not, but he will get the start in the backfield. He'll take the ball on first down, kick it out to the right side, and get about 2 yards, second down and long.
And I would not be surprised if that is the only carry we see for Carey. I think sometimes coaches, it's not like they're evaluating him per se. I think they have a pretty good read on who he is, and a lot of the starters, it's the same thing. But you just want to get them acclimated. You want to get them back into the field of things. So even some guys who may not play tonight who are dressed, you're just going through the routine and getting them as ready as you can for week 1.
2 guys battling for jobs are going to come to the near side in Demas and Hooks. Back to passes Dukes, looking, comes to the near side, and in and out of the hands of the attempted receiver, Shane Hooks out of Auburn, and it will be a 2-and-out for the Toronto Argonauts offense.
It's really unfortunate. Hooks had a deep comeback route. Dukes knew he had that late. He was looking downfield. He was seeing what he could attack, and then finally realized, I got to get rid of this ball. Went out to Hooks. He was there, but the wind just made that ball tail towards the sideline a little prematurely, and Hooks could not quite get back to it.
John Haggerty in for the punt. And Isaiah Wooden is the only returner back for the Ticats. Snap is a good one. Kick is a wobbler. It's going to hit at the 40 as the wind held that and knocked it down. And it will be a return about the 45, but coming out of the pile is Wooden. And he'll take it outside the 45 and get to midfield exactly on the stripe. And that's where the Ticats will take over 1st and 10. As Isaiah Wooden Sr. out of Southern Utah in his second year with the Ticats has a nice return.
That's a really nice return. He broke a couple of tackles, delivered a stiff arm. It was to the punter, John Haggerty, but still an impressive stiff arm. He's a big man, and so to stiff arm him to the ground says something. He's an athlete out there. But, yeah, that was a really nice return. You could see, though, the impact of the wind on that.
So the Ticats will take over, and it's going to be Taylor Powell at quarterback, 3rd year with the Tabbies out of Eastern Michigan. Right on the midfield stripe. And they will go ground game, nothing doing. Blown up real good at the line of scrimmage, as getting in there was Derek Parrish. And get used to hearing that name a lot this year with the challenges and changes on the defensive line.
That was a great play from Parrish. He was left unblocked, and the game there is that Hamilton's kind of relying on him to stay out wide, knowing he's got contain responsibility. He played that contain and realized he could still close space, but that's set up by jamming up the middle from those interior linemen.
The back is Treshawn Ward out of Boston College in his first year. Back to pass, looking to the far side, and incomplete, nowhere near the intended receiver. O.J. Hilaire. His rookie out of Bowling Green. It will hit the carpet, and likewise, the Argos defense comes up with a 2-and-out.
Jordan Williams hit Powell so hard on that play. I think he wondered in the back of his mind if it might have been a fraction late, but it was close enough to let him get away with it. But how about sending a message like that? He rips past his block up the middle, knocks him to the ground. You got Parrish in around the quarterback on that. This D-line has responded today.
There's a look at Deontay McMahon back at his own 10-yard line, awaiting the punt. And this is from Josh Green out of Oregon State, trying to make the Ticats. McMahon will get snowed under the 10-yard. I'm hoping we're not going to put a jar out here for every time I say Deontay's last name wrong, but it's going to take some getting used to.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
So time to let you know that the season opener for the Argonauts is a week from tonight. Friday, June 6th, 7:30, the Montreal, as rivalry continues between the Argos and the Alouettes, who have had a habit of meeting in the Eastern Final of late, kind of going back to the mid-2000s.
Yeah, indeed, and not a lot of respect shown there. Argos having to start the season on the road, but I like the fact that they're getting right back into a great matchup like that. I think that's great anytime you're making a schedule and you can go back to some of those key games from last year, whether it be a Toronto-Winnipeg or Toronto-Montreal, something like that. I'd love to see that to start a season. I just wish it were in BMO Field instead of in Montreal, but what can we do?
Why do fans care? And I mean that since okay, you're going to get 9 games. It's 9 games. You know, people get their noses out of joint. Oh, this should be a Grey Cup rematch. Okay, you're going to play, you know, Winnipeg later.
I like the idea of starting, like, building off the momentum that you had going. And I know that it's separated by several months, but I like to be reminded of that. And the Montreal game, I think, works perfectly for me. I think that's way better than starting your season against, I was going to say Edmonton, although there's so many former Argos there now. That might have been a good one. But I like it to be a relevant, you know, a game this division or, you know, that ended in chaos last year, something like that.
The Toronto-Montreal game is more important than a Toronto-Winnipeg game.
Yeah, but the Toronto-Montreal game is great. That's my first choice. I love that as a game. I would be fine with Winnipeg too, but I would like to see. I do feel like the defending Grey Cup champs should get to start the season at home, but that's how it goes.
You see McManus down there with the cup. Along with Benji Franklin. He was okay in the playoffs last year. 4 picks in 3 games.
He did pretty well. Some of the Hamilton fans are confused as to what that is he's holding.
Oh, it started early. Here's a toss play on first down. It is Kadeem Carey back in, and he'll get not much, maybe a yard, maybe 2.
I'm surprised we're seeing Carey at all. That time just a pitch out wide. Not much there for him. This line has done a really good job pass protecting. They did make some space last week for Chop Williams, but Hamilton seems to have, with Carey in there, they're very aware that this coaching staff is going to try and get Carey a couple touches early, I guess, and get him out of there. So they seem to be sitting on him on first down.
Neither he nor Kevin Brown dressed last week, so it's an opportunity to get them some serious reps. Second down, and we'll call it 8 as Dukes drops back. He's going to go over the middle and has a man for the first down. Most valuable Canadian in the Grey Cup a year ago, Dejan Brissett with the grab out to the 34, and that'll be a double blue first down.
He's looked really good too. Like his improvement from season 1 all the way through to where he is now has been awesome. I thought he looked good last week. I thought he looked good in the double blue game. And Cameron Dukes there standing in the pocket. It was just a 3-man rush. Looked like they were spying Dukes as well. So he had time to look around. Slow developing route there from Brissett. Found space, and Dukes hooked up with him for the first down.
Argos will have the rookie Joey Zornin as a tight end on the near side. They go right up Main Street, and 9, maybe 10 yards. It'll depend on the spot. Close to a first down for Kadeem Carey.
And that was the block from Zorn. It wasn't like he crushed anybody or wiped anybody out, but he did have that seal, and Carey was able to run right past him for just short of the first down, looks like.
Zorn was a 6th round draft pick this year, 55th overall, played at Windsor. He's a national because he's from Michigan, but played 3 years and graduated from a U Sports school. They did mark it just short, and Cam Dukes will fall forward and get the first down out to the 45. So that's why Zorn is a national. It's the same reason why Jonathan Edouard is a Canadian. It's a way to promote U Sports athletes going to the CFL.
And that was actually Daigie they brought in there, and I only mentioned that because, well, obviously we'd like to know that too, but it's interesting because I want to see how often that comes up. To take Dukes out here in an inches situation, 2nd and inches, put Daigie in, see how he is at converting these 2nd and short, 3rd and short situations.
Good catch, partner. Dukes back to pass. He's going to go over the middle again and has a man. It's caught by big Dante Demas. And he'll get first down yardage down to the 51-yard line. He is a big-bodied 6'3", 2 1/4 out of Maryland.
Yeah, he's a load. I like watching him play. That 2 1/4 is very real, too. This guy is built. And not a guy that most corners want to run into when he's got a full head of steam. That time coming across the formation, Dukes put it out in front of him, did well to make that catch. This wind is tricky. It's blowing into the face of Cam Dukes right now, and when you throw the pass out wide, that ball is tailing. You can actually see it from up here pretty clearly, tail towards the sideline.
And they will go play action. Dukes will roll out to the right, looking, throwing, and just getting it away. Before he got hit, it was in the general vicinity of Dejan Brissett. Second down and 10 from the 51.
I thought we might see Dukes take a shot there. He had two receivers out to that side. He was rolling out to his right, and he had Ungerer on a deep corner route, and that's the one I really wanted to see. It was a tough throw, especially with the wind. He took the more shallow of the two routes, but again, this is, I think, far tougher throwing conditions than it probably looks like. Just looking at those flags and the way this ball is traveling through the air, it's not easy.
Scoreless game. Second and 10. Dukes far side. We'll get about half of the distance needed for the first down. So well short. Once again, looking in the direction of Brissett, who only played 6 games last year. Got healthy for the playoffs, and that was a good thing. Had a touchdown in the Grey Cup. And this will bring out John Haggerty for the punt.
And situationally, in a game at BMO Field, if you're going the other direction or if the wind has died down, this is a situation where maybe that pass is to set up a long field goal attempt. But in these conditions, and also wanting to take a look at this punt team, they're going to send the punt unit out there to kick this ball away back to Hamilton.
2 years ago, Haggerty spent most of the offseason in Australia working into the wind. He wanted to make sure he could master it, working with the former NFL punter, Sav Rocca. And boy, did it ever pay off last year. We'll get to some of the numbers in a second. There's the kick. It'll corkscrew down into the wind and be taken at the 15-yard line. That will be a no yards penalty.
It's too bad because Kwamu came in and made such a great play on that, and he wasn't the guy who was within that 5-yard radius.
We'll take a timeout. 7:56 remaining in the opening quarter. Scoreless. It's Argo football on CFL. And we're back. Ticats will take over at their own 31-yard line. Scoreless game, and it is still Taylor Powell in at quarterback for the Ticats. They'll set up the screen and incomplete. And they are going to, I assume that was an incomplete pass, but they are ruling it's Argo football. They'll get a chance to see the replay.
I saw it like you. I thought that was an incomplete screen pass. The screen made sense. Toronto's been sending so much getting so much pressure that was the right call. But yeah, they've now changed their minds and correctly ruled that was an incomplete pass. Yeah, just the back leaking out. Powell dumped it off to him. It just wasn't really a good throw. Running back had to dive for it, never made the catch, and with that ball bouncing around, they let them play. I'm okay with that. Make sure you got the right call before you blow it dead.
Second and 10 from the 31. Pass was in the direction again of Trayshawn Ward. And there is a pass by Powell. It is caught as it's O.J. Hilaire with the reception, but it will be 4 yards shy of the first down. Once again, tight coverage by the Argos, and that was Delade Hood, was it not?
I didn't see where the coverage came from. I was busy watching a pretty amusing but unfortunate scenario along the defensive line. They actually lined up Jordan Williams out wide at the end spot, and Isaac Darkangelo came down into the gap beside him. They collided together on what was supposed to be a twist, ran right into each other like an old comedy show, and that drew my attention away from the coverage.
Calvin Turner Jr., the rookie out of Hawaii, is back for this one. It's a wobbler. It's going to hit at the 30 and take a great Ticats bounce inside the 10. And Turner is going to pick it up at the 1 yard line and get tackled into the end zone, but that will be marked at the 1 yard line, and that is a good kick. Well, it wasn't a great kick, but a good result maybe is more the way to look at it. But I think Calvin Turner Jr. just learned something about the CFL.
Yeah, I'd like to see Turner Jr. come up and play that. I think he had a shot at it. It would have been tough, but I think you have to, especially with that wind. That ball ended up bouncing another 30 yards down to the 1, and then he made the mistake of touching it early before he was able to actually grab it, thus closing that 5 yard window, and everyone went all out to get him after that. He had a couple really nice returns last week. I was impressed with him. This is not going to help his cause in terms of trying to be an option as a returner. But, yeah, he looked good last week, really smooth as a runner. I thought he picked his lanes well. I thought his vision looked good. But, yeah, this is about the worst-case scenario starting on the 1.
And he's looking to establish himself as something different in those American receivers who are looking to get onto the roster, or at least a practice roster spot. There's him. There's Dante Demas, who's made a catch tonight. Marquise McLean, Shane Hooks, Dorian Anderson. We'll see those guys later. We've already seen Hooks as well. So it's a battle, and if you can do anything to sort of separate yourself from everybody else, which Turner's trying to do as a returner.
Yeah, and he's one of the few receivers who's not over 6 feet tall, and like you say, brings a different skill set. He's got that lateral agility, the sort of make you miss ability, and most of those other guys don't have that. These 6'4", 6'7" targets that you're seeing Toronto put out there have a very different skill set to Turner Jr., so that's not one he's going to want to remember. But look for him, though. If he gets another opportunity, he's fun to watch.
Also fun to watch on this drive will be Anim Dankwa, who is out at right tackle for the Toronto Argonauts. He's standing next to Dylan Giffen, so you've got 6'8" and 6'8". That's a large offensive line.
What always amazed me about Dankwa is how well he moves for his size, because he's a guy you look at all the way going back to high school, where you look at him and you say, well, yeah, that's a big guy for sure, but you can run away from him. You can find ways to eliminate that. He played both ways in high school, was on the defensive line too. And no, it wasn't true. He's so fast for his size. He has such good reach, for one.
See the little guy in the middle, the center, Anthony Van Dahl, how little he is?
Right.
He's 6'4", 310 pounds.
I know, those two guys beside him. Yeah, they'll make anyone look small.
Once again, here's Dukes, 3 out of 5 for 38 yards so far. Out of his end zone, will dump it off to Mac Mahan, who will take it out close to the 10, so they'll mark it just shy of that. He'll get about 8.5.
I really like that from Dukes. He knew all the way he was going to carry. He liked the matchup he had. He saw that there was going to be space. Mac Mahan. He knew his back was going to have a good matchup. And so he just tried to freeze everybody. He dropped back, looked straight downfield, holding everybody in the middle, and then once he knew he had the timing, once he got under a bit of pressure, just threw it out to Mac Mahan to get, again, near that first down marker.
That was a nice open field tackle by Patrick Burke Jr. out of Laurier. That could have gone a long way. They need 1.5 yards on second down, and they will get it going to the ground to Mac Mahan across the 15, out to the 23-yard line. And for the third-year Argonaut, they will move the sticks again. McNeese State product.
I love how confident Coach Dinwiddie is in running middle with Mac Mahan. Like, you've seen this over the last couple of years too, where it's the last thing you expect with all the backs that Toronto's had out there, whether it had been like last year with the Pounders, like Adebaboye that you had out there, or Carey, of course, and this year Chop Williams and stuff too. You're not thinking that Mac Mahan's going to be the guy that goes middle, but yeah, they're not afraid to call that.
1st and 10. Quick hitter, Mayala, the new Argo, has it out close to the 30-yard line. And that will be good for about 7.
He's looked really good so far as well, and I feel like every quarterback that's had him on the field has looked his direction. He's a pro receiver with a lot of experience, and I wasn't really sure what his role, I'm still not sure what his role is going to be in here. There's so many talented Canadian receivers, but he has to be on your radar. He's just made himself so available for everyone he's played with.
Mayala, Brissett, who we've mentioned, Dave Unger III, and Kevin Mittal has looked great this year, dropped 15 pounds. And everybody's been talking about him. They'll give the ball to Chop Williams, who will bounce off a tackle, but then get swallowed up in the backfield. He needed 3 yards, and he didn't get any.
I think Hamilton was pretty excited to get a hold of Chop Williams after what he did to them last week. He knocked over, just on one run alone, I think knocked over half their defense. And so, there was some excitement getting to the ball and stopping Chop in his tracks.
So here's John Haggerty. Last year, he set some records. 58.9 in a game, 50.3 seasonal average is an Argo record. His career average is now 48.9. That's a record. And set a record in the Grey Cup with an average of 54.8. So,
and it shows you the win tonight. He's averaging 35 yards on 2 kicks. Like, to hold him to that means it is windy.
There's one. That's a good kick into the wind. It'll flutter back to the 35-yard line. And once again on the return, and did that ball come out? Once again, it was Isaiah Wooden on the return, but he'll be taken at the 42-yard line. We'll take a timeout. Scoreless, 3.5 left in the opening quarter. This is Toronto Argonaut football on CFL.ca. And we're back. 3.5 left, opening quarter. Mike Hogan, Ben Grant with you here at Guelph, Argos and Ticats. Home opener for the Argos is 2 weeks from tomorrow, June 14th, 4 o'clock, Calgary's in town. The banner raising, 10,000 replica rings. Freebies. Make sure you get there early. And they'll run a quick toss inside and taking it across the Argo 50 for a gain of about 13 yards. That was Josh Johnson.
That was well-designed play. The timing was perfect. You want to be running full speed on those. It's sort of a little toss forward. It counts as a pass because it is thrown through the air forward, even if it's only a foot. But yeah, perfectly timed. Really tough. Stretched out the Argos defense, and there was a cutback lane there.
O'Leary Orange and Hakunavanu will go wide to the left on first down, and they will go right up a gap and down to the 41-yard line for a gain of 8 will be Trayshawn Ward, who has looked good tonight.
And that's the first time I've seen any kind of space at all on the inside. As you said, going up towards the middle. It was a pretty nice read. Everything collapsed down into the center. But yeah, the Argos just haven't shown that they're willing to give Hamilton any running yards at all in the middle until that play.
He did have that screen pass kind of blow up in his face, but smooth looking back from the 41-yard line, back to pass. Powell under pressure, flushed out of the pocket, down he goes, back at the 49-yard line. Isaac Darkangelo got him.
The Argos sent 5 there, Darkangelo blitzing up the middle. It looked like they were going to send 6, except the back leaked out and Kwame ended up going along with him. But that 5 was enough to get it done. It just relentless pressure from all around. There was nowhere for Powell to go. The middle was knocked right back into his face, and Darkangelo is there to clean it all up.
His sister was on the Ottawa team that made a run at the PWHL title this year.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, it is. Here's the punt. High Aussie style. And it will be Turner grabbing it this time at the 5-yard line. Cuts up the middle. Will get across the 10. And he's got a seam. 15, 20. Flags all over the place as Turner gets tripped up at the 30-yard line. I assume this one's coming back.
Based on the placement of the flag, it does look like that. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, he didn't expect to still be on his feet. He was surrounded by a crowd of Ticats, somehow was the only man left standing and was able to work his way downfield. It was a nice return. I think he's just as surprised as anybody, though. We'll see what the call is and if it's going to move back. I think it probably is. The Argos are already moving back, anticipating that.
Yeah, they're going back to their goal lines. I know this is coming back. It was a good return by Turner.
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun to watch.
That's going to be on Charles Brown Jr. He was a late addition. He didn't get here until May 17th. But he was the guilty party there. And it will be a 1st and 10. They'll go all the way back to the 9-yard line with 1:16 left in this scoreless opening quarter.
And the hold they called on him happened so early in that. It was well before any of that return took place. But a hold is a hold. So
Dukes will come out 5 out of 7, 53 yards so far. And he'll dump it out into the flat again, and it is Mayala. That one was read much better this time by the Ticats, and the tackle made by Walton out of Ole Miss. The Argos are going to be thrilled to get out of this first quarter. This wind is proving to be an issue. And it's also a way that teams do creep up on Dukes. It's one of the things he's been trying to shake, I think, this season, and looking at his play in Hamilton last week and also in the Double Blue game where teams do walk towards the line of scrimmage. And with this wind, it is not helping things at all. Single coverage to the near side as coming out wide to the near side is Shane Hooks. He's going to look that way on the comeback. There was contact. They're just going to say it was a little hand check. So no flag. Good coverage again by Jamari Walton. And it will be 3rd down and 10. And sadly for the Argonauts, they weren't able to get a first down. Now they've got to punt into the wind one more time. And I'm sure that also is a case of wanting to see if these players can do that. That's Hooks that he targeted out wide there. Had a one-on-one. The Argos ran 4 receivers to the opposite side, leaked their back out to that side as well, leaving a true one-on-one situation. And that time, Hooks didn't quite get the separation. Dukes' ball was on point, but it just wasn't to be. It was great coverage from Hamilton's secondary. So Haggerty, once again, this is 4th punt already, averaging 38-7. He's going to be happy these numbers don't count. I think his spot on the team is safe. Yeah. He'll stand in his end zone. And he will punt it. And he turns that one over. A tight spiral into the wind back to the Ticat 51. And they're going to get another good return down to the 40. A big hit at the end of that, as taken down was Phillip Brooks. And there are flags. We'll figure out what it is, and then we'll scoot away as we've hit zeros on the clock. And we're back. Second quarter about to get underway. Ticats will take over at their own 50-yard line after the penalty. Scoreless quarter. It was a low-scoring game in Hamilton last week between these two. Neither defense showing much, neither offense wants to show much either. So run stuff that's vanilla and see who can actually go out and beat their guy one-on-one. First down from their own 50-yard line. Taylor Powell still in at quarterback. He'll come out to the near side, dump it off to midfield, a gain of about 7 yards when all is said and done for Keaton Bruggeling, who is a Carleton product, first year with the Ticats, fourth year in the CFL.
It's so tough play calling in a game like this because you don't want to show anything. It's like we like, you know, you may see these guys again several times, so you just don't want to show too much, but you're also trying to evaluate you guys. So a lot of situational things, one-on-ones, like you said.
Second down, about 3 yards. Yeah, 3 yards to go, and they will go ground game. And there's a big hole up the middle, and that is broken by Ward, who's going to get inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line. Biggest gain of the night for either team, as he is finally brought down by Bryce Hampton out of Purdue's.
That was a great hole off the left side. Just a huge gap, and by the time the Argos secondary reacted to it, it was too late. He was already by them, and this is going to push Hamilton inside the Toronto 20, and we'll see what if Toronto maybe is tempted to dial up some pressure here. It's hard to hold back when the other team, especially a team in black and gold, is on your doorstep here. We'll see.
A 38-yard gain for Ward. So it's a 1st and 10. They're in the red zone at the 15-yard line, just inside the left hash mark. They'll go tight end. Actually, no, they won't. They'll go 3 receivers wide to the right. Powell will go over the middle, has a man on the post for the touchdown. Again, Keaton Bruggeling, the Carleton products, got the touchdown, and first blood goes to the Ticats at 6-0. No flags.
That was a great throw, just to hang in there, too. Toronto did send pressure, sending almost everybody, not a lot of defenders back deep, and if you can just even remotely come close to picking up all your guys, it is tough to hang on in coverage in the end zone with this much space.
Wide open on the post, and we'll come out and try and dot the I now when it will be Maximuk, the right footer. From 8 yards back, 33-yard, and it is good. Some kickers like the extra yards, most of them 7. He had that at 8, and we'll take the timeout. 7-0 Ticats. And we're back. Ticats on the board first. Powell to Bruggeling, and 7-0. A couple of minutes in, as the Ticats capitalize on the big run into the win by Trayshawn Ward and capitalize 7-0.
It's so helpful if you can get your ground game going in a windy game like this and actually chew some time up and put points on the board going into the wind. That's huge. Toronto was unable to do that in the first quarter. They're going to get their first chance now with the wind and see if that is any different for them.
Calvin Turner Jr. is deep. So was Jake Herslow back for his second season. And that was like a frisbee turning sideways, and it will be Herslow taking it across the 30 to the 35. And that's where the offense comes onto the field. And once again, it will be Cam Dukes, 6 of 9 for 53 yards in the opening 15.
I'm glad Dukes is getting a shot with the wind, just because you hate that. Like, you know you're being looked at carefully, and if it's you for one quarter and you spend that whole time fighting into this horrible wind, and then suddenly they run another guy out there with the wind, you're like, well, hang on a second. This is not the same. It's not the same set of circumstances. So we'll see what Dukes can do with a little boost coming from behind him.
Turner will come out to the near side along with Herslow as they stay onto the field. Brissett will join them. Now in a running back is Kevin Brown, the former Edmonton Elk. And Dukes has a man at the 40, and it's Hooks taking it out to the 44 for a gain of 9.
That's a really nice throw and catch, and there does seem to be a comfort that Dukes has out there. With this group in particular, he looks like he's in rhythm.
So now Dukes will stay in for short yardage and not get it at all. He's going to maybe lose a foot. So now you're going to have a third down, and out come the fat guys. Bringing out the bigs, and Daigie's going to come in at quarterback. Another former Elk who made his CFL debut against Toronto a couple of years ago in a wild game in Edmonton.
There just wasn't anywhere to go on that. Like, that's not on Dukes. He went to go right, and that's the design of that, but the entire offensive line on the right side got pushed back into his face, so we'll see if Daigie can fare any better here in a sneak situation. And
he's going to go to the left side and get the first down. He needed 1.5 yards and got it. You bring in Aneem Dankwa.
I know.
Put him at tackle, and then they moved something they did a little bit last week as well. John Boss. There's another change in pronunciation. He had gone by John Bosse. Now it's John Boss, B-O-S-S-E. But he moved out to play the tight end on that side, and they went the other way. Got the first down.
Yeah, that time it was Anthony Vandal who really made space just off that snap. He plowed about 3 yards forward, and all Daiggie had to do was just follow in his wake.
Brown will stand behind Dukes on a 1st and 10 and take the toss, go far side, gets a block, and again, good play by the Ticat linebackers to get over there in a hurry. DQ Thomas was over there in a hurry to help it in on the tackle. It'll be a gain of a couple.
You just don't want to let Brown get going. He's really fast. He's a 4-4 guy, and you see it when he gets in open space. Some of those highlight reel plays that I know you've seen when he was playing with Edmonton. I had him as one of the best backs in the league a couple years ago when he first made his debut. I was so impressed with his vision, his how difficult he is to bring down. He gets lost as well, not being the tallest guy in the world. It's hard to find him sometimes. He's a fun back to watch.
Well, he did have over 1,100 yards.
Yeah.
Dukes will go over the middle. Has a man, didn't hit Herslow. He was open and just missed him. I don't know if Jake cut the route short a little bit. Did you see how that developed?
Yeah.
Or did Cam just miss him?
It looked like they were both caught between, am I going to sit or am I going to run through this? He was crossing through zone coverage, and it was a bit of a hesitation from Herslow, and I think he and Dukes weren't necessarily sure. Is he sitting? Am I sitting? And that they ended up with the miscommunication. Herslow kind of sat and then reaccelerated, and by the time he made that decision, the ball was already on its way.
Haggerty averaged 41.5 into a strong wind in the first quarter. We'll see if they release the hound here. There was movement on the line, no flag. High one, a corkscrew down at the 6-yard line on the far numbers, and it looks like it's going to be another nice return, as taking it out to around the 20-yard line again was Isaiah Wooden, who has been a busy man today. And we'll take the timeout. 7-0 Ticats, 10 minutes remaining in the first half. It's Argo football on CFL Plus. 7-0 Ticats, 9:51 remaining here in the first half. Mike Hogan and Ben Grant. Your lovable Argos crew. From your lovable Argos.
I think we got a pick coming up here in just a minute. I'm feeling it for Sluka back there at the safety spot.
It will be a toss to the near side. And that was not going to go anywhere. And who was that shot in there? That was Donald Rutledge, who is the favorite to take over as the Sam backer with the, I guess, surprising release of Quincy Mauger earlier this week. Yeah,
Quincy Mauger is a great player, and I think, Rutledge just showed how good he was last week playing in that Sam spot, but he's also got a lot of starting experience on his resume, 2022 with the Bombers. He's always been a good football player. That's not new. But I think maybe some folks in the CFL reminded of that last week in Hamilton.
Sets up a second down, and we'll call it 8. And Powell will go back to pass and go over the middle on a drag route, and it is caught, but way short of the first down. And once again, the Argos there, Ryder Varga was in on that hit. Ryder was, he had a good year last year in BC. He was acquired for Dijon Allen, who had a good couple of years in Toronto. But Varga last year, 73 tackles, and he really wasn't the regular on for most of the time. He was kind of in and out.
He's a really good player, and he can play any spot, and I love having him out there. He's going to be out there with McManus and Judge and everyone else on these second and long situations.
And here is the punt from Josh Green, and it will be taken by Turner at the 42, cutting to the middle. He wants to bubble back, and he's in trouble. Back to the 35, and he'll get taken down there. Good coverage, and that was on the tackle. Somebody Ticat fans are really interested in. Devin Varasic, who was the number 2 overall pick in the CFL draft this year. He had a very nice open field special teams tackle a week ago in the Hammer when these two teams met, and he did it again back to the 36.
Yeah, he's got great explosion. It was really fun watching his film from Windsor last year, and a guy that I also thought was going to be drafted very high in that first round. But you see his speed there. I think, as a returner, you see this sort of big guy coming down at you. You're like, I think I can outrun this guy to the sideline. Not a chance. He's got explosion.
4 will go up top on first down as the Argos start at their 36-yard line, trailing by 7. And it's a pass for Brown. Now in a quarterback is Tucker Horn. That was a nice ball. Brown just let it slip.
Yeah, he's got to catch that. Horn timed that well, put it in the right spot for him. That's actually, it looks maybe up high, but that's a great spot to catch that for a running back leaking out. You kind of want it there around helmet level, but Brown just couldn't secure it, and now he's putting his quarterback in a tougher situation, second and long.
Tucker had a great ball last week to Shane Hooks on a deep route. Couldn't throw it any better.
Yeah, no, there was no space at all. And the 33-yard ball down the sideline, only one spot he could put it, and he did.
4-man rush. Flag goes down. Hooks got hit as he threw it. He got rid of the ball. It is caught by Turner, but is this going to be a hold? From where it was thrown, that would be the odds-on favorite in terms of a call, but the Argos seem to be marching forward. Is this on the Ticats? Nope. Now they turn around and walk back.
Yeah, it's coming back, and it's unfortunate because Horn still took a hit. There was the hold, plus we'll get the call here. Oh, face mask.
Sage Dockstader with the call. Another player that the Argos are interested in seeing. Second-round pick back in 2021, 12th overall, and then went down to the NFL and stuck around and played in the XFL/UFL/USFL.
And it wipes out a great throw from Horn. He stood in there, took a hit, and that was a rocket. I think that's the hardest ball I've seen Horn throw. It was rifled in there, and it gets wiped out statistically because of that face mask.
Second down in a time zone. And there's that deep ball down the sideline again, and he was looking for Anderson. Sorry, it was Hooks again, as they tried to recreate what they did a week ago. That was overthrown. Don't know if the wind had anything to do with that, but it will be a punting situation once again for Haggerty, who has been a very busy Argo. This is punt number 6.
I don't mind that. He had one-on-one on the outside. He's got a height advantage out there, too, and he's going to put it up and see if his guy can make a play. But like you said, it just carried. It sailed. And the way that Hooks read that, he actually held up a little bit and then had to turn on the jets again. It was never going to be able to get there.
Haggerty will get this away from around his own 10. Not a great kick. It's a low spiral down to the 35-yard line. And now trying to bubble back, and that's not a good idea either, is Phillip Brooks. As we see a couple of the younger players trying to maybe take advantage of the bigger field. 6:48 remaining here in the first half, 7-0 Ticats, and they'll look to add to their lead now. We'll take the timeout. It's Argo football on CFL.ca. Ticats have it, up 7-0. Powell still in a quarterback. He'll go to the far sidelines, and that is caught by Josh Johnson, and a flag comes out at the conclusion of the catch.
Trying to send heat again on that play. The ball had to come out quickly.
Delonte Hood with the call, the rookie trying to make the team.
Yeah, sort of more bad luck than anything else. The play was right on the boundaries. It was going out of bounds no matter what, and I think his hand just kind of got in there and grabbed a piece of face mask. Unfortunate because, it had nothing to do with the play, and that was not what he was trying to do, obviously.
So they will mark it all the way out to the 52-yard line of the Ticats. 1st and 10. Ground game, and man, did the Argos close in on that in a hurry. And Anthony Lanier II was the man who was first on the scene.
Yeah, that's your classic run blitz. They had someone coming through every single gap pretty much from the snap, and so there was nowhere to go at all. It's not even like anyone lost their blocks in Hamilton. There's just too many Argos coming at the football. Even Sluka started 15 yards back, was in on that tackle. So, yeah, they may have been looking run 1st and 10 into the wind.
6'5", 285, and strong. 2nd and 8. Powell, deep drop, will go to the far side again to the numbers. And that is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Shamar Bridges. He got lit up. Will Sunderland, the former Ticat, with a hit.
Yeah, Will Sunderland just crushed him. It was such a good hit. Ball popped in the air. That could have turned into something. Almost out there for a pick. I think that was Rutledge that was hanging around there, maybe a yard or two away from it. But yeah, what a hit from Sunderland. It's so nice, like as a DB, when you can keep everything in front of you like that, and you know you're sending heat so that ball's going to come out quickly. He was waiting on that. He knew it had to. There was no time for a double move. As soon as he saw his receiver break to that speed out, he knew he could step up and make that play.
Well, the defenders, like Lanier on the last one and Sunderland on that one, they don't get to hit anybody in practice.
Yeah, it is a treat.
So when they see somebody in a jersey other than blue and white, release the hounds. That's a good kick into the wind. Turner will take it at the 8-yard line. He's going to look for the far sideline and get it and get out to the 25-ish. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 24. And that's where the Argos offense will take over, trailing by 7 once again. It will be Tucker Horn going out there. Tucker, you know it's a relative when there's a Tucker Horn jersey, custom jersey, for the guy who's trying to make the team. And I saw they're sitting down in front of us. It must be his brother. His brother looks exactly like Tucker.
Couldn't look more like him. I think that's awesome. He's still sitting down there in front of us. Amazing. I'd love to see that support.
3 receivers up top, and they will go Chop Williams on the ground. He's got a whole 30-35, and the touchdown machine from Ohio State takes it out to the 41. Mayan Williams, a.k.a. Chop.
And McMahon, Carey, and Brown are like, where was that hole when I was out there? That was a massive hole. You had all the left side of the line. Van Dahl also contributing there with a kick-out block. There was a lot of movement, a lot of big guys running in space, and so much room. Chop Williams was looking for someone to hit.
17-yard run. And, oh, there's a little miscommunication. Oh, there's a high hit as well. Horn turned one way, Chop had gone the other, and when Tucker Horn went to slide, there was Ray Wilborn with a high hit, and he got caught. So the second-year product of Ball State. This is going back a while. This is like 2000-ish. There were 2 brothers, twin brothers, in the CFL with Winnipeg, Raphael Ball and Raphael Ball, and they went to Ball State. So whenever I see Ball State, I don't even think of David Letterman anymore. I think of the Ball Bros.
Looks like Horn is okay. He did take a shot on that, and like you said, it's just, he opened right. Williams was looking left, and it was a designed run with no running back taking the ball. Quarterback's got to keep it.
They empty out the backfield. Horn is going to dump it out near side Turner, and he'll get to the 50, and a gain of about 4. Second down and 6.
Just a receiver screen for Turner Jr. And that play call, you like to see. That's obviously, you've got a play caller who was a former quarterback. Coach Dinwiddie knows what it's like to take a big hit. You don't necessarily, on the very next play, want to hang in the pocket, especially as a young quarterback, for 5 seconds. And so he does something where he knows, hey, my guy can get it out quickly, get it out wide, get some confidence back, maybe shake off that hit from the previous play.
Horn will look things over. 3 to the near side, 2 up top. 5-man rush, and Horn's going to take off and throw before he gets to the line of scrimmage. He was looking once again for Herslow. It will go incomplete, and we'll see what the Argos are going to do here. They know what Haggerty can do, but no, they are going to send the punt unit out.
Yeah, I think they'd love to come away with a win here too. I think that just builds a bit of momentum. But there's some good and bad on that play. Tucker Horn stepped up. I love that he kept looking downfield. He had a lane to run in, and instead of just tucking the ball and thinking, okay, it's me now, he was still looking downfield for his receivers. But that's probably a play where he should have just kept it. It was too tough a throw across his body, a little dangerous too. But he probably gets close to the first down if he keeps it.
So here's Haggerty. He'll be looking to corner this one. He'll look for the near side. An Aussie end over end. Too close to the middle of the field. That's unlike him. Phillip Brooks will take it and get out to about the 10-yard line with a flag down. So the Ticats will keep possession as we hit the 3-minute warning. 2:49 remaining in the opening half. It's 7-0 Ticats on a touchdown pass from Powell to Brugling.
Did you see a fair catch signal on that? It looked like, I think he was just waving the other returner off. But yeah, I saw the hands go up in the air. I'm like, wait a second, what league are we watching here?
So that'll move it back a little bit more as Patrick Burke Jr., who made a nice play earlier, an open field tackle, will get the penalty. And again, we've hit the 3-minute warning, so we'll take the timeout. 7-0 Ticats. This is Argo Football on CFL.ca. And we're back. 2:48 left. Fans getting into it. There's lots of Argo jerseys and Ticat jerseys, and a lot of Guelph Griffin jerseys, and right in the middle is some guy in a Winnipeg Blue Bomber jersey. I respect that. I think that's awesome. Gotta support the team. 1st and 10 from the 2, and not much there as heading right up the A-gap and right into the arms of Daniel Kwamu on that play. Oh, it was Kassar, sorry.
It's so tough when you get pinned down. Well, we saw this with the Argos in the first quarter. When you get pinned inside your 5 and you've got that wind in your face, everyone knows what you're doing. There's just not a lot of room. Let's see if Toronto can come up with a stop here and maybe turn this into some points before the end of the half.
Boy, I thought Kassar looked great last week.
He did.
Getting a chance to play middle linebacker. He was so good at Carleton. Back to pass, Powell with a tip, and it is caught. Close to first down. It should be a first down for Drew Wolotarski. Speaking of Winnipeg, he's over now here in Hamilton after 7 years with the Bombers.
And what was great to see from Kassar, as you said last week, his coverage too. You know, we know he can hit. We've seen him do that, but a couple times he was matched up with faster running backs.
Johnny Augustine caught him.
Yeah, and caught him and played the angle perfectly. And just there on that play, it didn't go his way, but he was out in coverage again on a speedy back, and he was all over him. So yeah, great to see that from Jack Kassar.
Minute 56 left as the Ticats get a very big first down for them, and they'll get a few more yards here on a run play up the
That might have come out.
I thought so at first too, but I didn't see anybody celebrating on the Argos, and it will be a second down for the Ticats.
Yeah, Edouard is still in there fighting for the football, but I think the officials are just trying to separate the piles. I don't think they saw it come out.
Yeah, Rutledge is in there too.
Yeah, and
Treshaun Ward was the ball carrier once again. But
Ward came up with it, so yeah.
So if it did come out, he got it back.
This is a big play here for Toronto. 2nd and 5. If they can get the ball back here, for the coaches to give your quarterback a chance to run that 2-minute offense, as well as it being a big moment in the game.
See if they snap it actually with 13 left on the play clock. It's caught by Hakanavanu, and he'll get caught short of the first down. I think they would have run a little bit more time off the clock.
Yeah, that surprised me too. Usually you would take that down a little bit. I guess with that much time left, it is the CFL. It's not like it was 20 seconds left or something. But yeah, I think I might have let that go a few more seconds.
Going into the wind, yeah.
Yep.
Preseason for everybody, Benjamin.
Indeed it is. I'm excited about this next drive. I think if Toronto can end up on Hamilton's side of the field to start this, and you can really get a tempo kind of offense going with Tucker Horn, I'd be curious to see how he handles this.
They're really taking a look at Turner as the returner.
Yeah.
As he's been in there for all of them. Josh Green is the punter. He'll get this away. A wobbler will hit at midfield. Turner will pick it up at his own 51 with a flag down, and he's got a hole but tripped up. And a second flag comes out late. That was an outstanding open field tackle And I'm trying to get a number because I want to give him credit. Is that 51? I just see a 1. Ah, there it is. 31. 51, rather. Philip Osai.
That was
a nice tackle.
That was a great tackle on open space. I didn't think that was the tackle that was going to be made. Turner's not easy to get a hold of. His vision's really good. He doesn't quite have, well, no one has that. Oh, here's the call.
Hamilton 0-0 and holding on Toronto. 5-yard penalty, first down.
No yards and a hold. So the Argos will get it.
But he doesn't have that same Janarian Grant first couple steps.
No.
And, not many people do. But you see it. We get so accustomed to seeing him back there. And, we've had a few years in a row of explosive guys with Leak back there, too. And it's that split second of difference because it was well blocked, and he saw where he wanted to go, but just got that contact and wasn't able to break it.
So Tucker Horn still in at quarterback. And he'll drop back, empty backfield. He hits out of the backfield, Chop Williams, who got blown up real good. He makes the catch, or a short gain. A big hit again. Both teams are really bringing it.
Yeah, that was a bad read from Horn, and he's going to want to have that one back. He didn't realize that there was a flats defender hanging around there. I think he thought the Hamilton defender had turned deep.
2nd and 7. Horn has a man. Maella makes the catch, then turns and falls forward, but they're not going to give him the lean, and it'll be a yard and a foot maybe shy. So 3rd down and 4 feet.
I didn't love that spot.
Because did the Hamilton defender get him while he was on the ground? Doesn't matter. They're going to give it a Chop who'll get the first down.
Man, that's smart to go quick like that. Like what that allows you to do, remember, it was 2nd and long, and so you don't have your heavies out there if you're Hamilton. So by running to the line quickly, even though it's still a yard and a half to go, they were able to keep Hamilton's smaller defenders on the field, and Williams could run for that first down.
He's 5'8" tall and about 5'8" across. He goes 237. There's a completion out, and getting out of bounds is Turner. It'll move the sticks and stop the clock with 40 seconds remaining in the half. It's a first down just outside the 31.
You can tell those two have worked together a lot in practice. That was a perfect timing throw. Just hooking up at the sticks. Turner came back for the football, and by the time he turned his head around, it was already halfway to him. Love to see that kind of connection between a quarterback and a receiver, especially when you're talking about two new guys. But that's the advantage of being out on the field with guys that you've spent time with on the practice field.
First down and 10. Back to pass. Now flushed out of the pocket, rolling right, looking, and throwing it away. Here's Tucker Horn, and a flag comes out. Oh boy, they're going to call a late hit on that. And yeah.
He's going to want to have that one back too. That was really unfortunate. He had, I think it was Anderson wide open. Oh,
that's the right call.
Yeah.
It was a nice play by Deshaun Render, and I was kind of wondering why the flag came out. That's the right call to pick it up. It wasn't a low hit. It wasn't late.
Hersey Maella on that play cleared out, and he knew his job was just to clear right out.
That was low.
Oh, we're seeing the replay now.
On the replay, that was
a low hit.
I didn't think it was a flag, but when you look at it, looked like he got him ankle first. Interesting.
That was actually, sorry, it was McLean that was wide open downfield, cutting underneath Maella's route.
Horn will stand in and throw an incompletion. Once again, looking for Herslow. And it will set up a third down, and out comes Liram Hairolahu. Another guy who had a pretty good season last year. 55 field goals, tying an Argo record. Second Argo to go over 200 points in a season, joining Lance Chomick. Was perfect. He had 24 postseason kicks and hit them all. 10 field goals and 14 converts.
Yeah, that is not a normal streak.
Including a bunch of them in the Grey Cup after he had suffered ligament damage.
Right. That's, I know, and hearing about that's unreal to me.
Got the leg on this one, and as always, right down the middle, Liram Hairolahu. So 24 seconds left. The Argos are on the board for the first time and now trail it 7-3.
So it wasn't the touchdown that they were looking for necessarily from Tucker Horn to lead them down and get that score, but he led them down and he got points. He made some nice throws. couple that I think he probably wants to have back, and maybe a penalty there results in it's something different on that drive. But again, it's preseason, can't get too upset about anything. I thought he handled himself pretty well, managed the clock well on that drive too.
Regular season, that may have been a challenge.
Yeah, that's it.
And Damate Coatsy was right there on the sideline. He immediately pointed.
Yeah, a bunch of those guys were jumping up and down.
As Powell comes out, he's just going to take a knee. 22 seconds remaining, so we'll do it once more. And we can go to halftime and hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way.
It's been threatening. May have had a couple of drops at one point. 7, they're just waiting for the clock to run down. And they do. Oh, he took the knee with 1 second left. Let's just get out. There we go. Thank you, Andrew Wakefield, our official, in a preseason game, just saying, let's just go to the locker room instead of doing it again. 7-3 is the score at the half as the Ticats get the touchdown pass and the Argos get the field goal. So we'll scoot away for a bit and we'll come back, and I don't know what Ben's going to do for halftime. There may be juggling involved.
Yep, just getting my...
Maybe like a David Blaine illusion.
Yeah, well, I've been doing that all first half.
Well, we are doing sort of TV, not radio tonight, so there's a chance. Halftime in Guelph, 7-3 Ticats. This is Argo football on CFL.ca. And the players are back, and so are we. My name is Mike Hogan, along with Ben Grant, your radio team. You'll be hearing us again on TSN 1050 this year, and you'll be hearing Mr. Grant, as always, with the X's and Argos podcast, back for how many years now?
This is our 7th season, which is pretty amazing to think about. It doesn't feel like that long, but yeah, they've gone by.
So the Argos will be kicking off. Ticats will get it first. Just a couple of touchdowns. Powell to Brugling for a 7-yard major from 15 yards out. And then Liram Hairola, who closed out the first half with a 38-yard field goal, and that's it. Game being played here tonight at the University of Guelph, which was a home for the Ticats for a while when they were building Hamilton Stadium. Low kick. Nice one-hop catch. And right up the middle of the 45-yard line. And that's where the Ticats will take over the return on that play. There are way too many players dressed tonight. I'm sorry. Phillip Brooks out of Kansas State.
Yeah, Brooks was so nonchalant, short hopped that kick and didn't even flinch, had a nice return to boot. So
looked like a shortstop out there.
Yeah, no, it looked to have very good hand-eye on that. That was a risky play. So often that'll bounce off your shin or off your knee, and you're chasing that football, hoping you can get to it before the coverage team.
Well, the first half was windy. Now it's windy here for the second half. Powell still in the game. He'll dump it off. Brugling's got it again to midfield to the 50. 45 on the sideline, down to the 30, and will get taken down inside the 25 to the 21-yard line. A gain of 40 yards.
Brugling's having a day, and that's just everything about that play was strange. They were under center for one. It looked like a short yardage formation, a goal line formation. But of course, they weren't even at midfield at that point. Brugling leaked out, had blockers in front of him, made a guy miss. Pretty much did everything right, but it started with not expecting to see a formation like that to open the second half.
3 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown already for the Carleton product. He'll go in motion and play action. Powell's going to roll to the near side, looking, pump, and knocked out of bounds inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line, so he'll gain 8 yards.
DeMarcus Johnson is going to hear it on that play. He had contained responsibility, and he was just tempted in to chase that running back. It was play action, and Powell able to escape the pocket there, run freely because contain was blown.
Powell 41 of 52 last year, 79%.
He played well. He really impressed me. We got to see a fair amount of him last year with Bo Levi Mitchell out, and he didn't really do anything wrong.
Well, he took over, and then he got hurt. Bo went in.
Yeah, and Bo looked pretty good.
He was all right. And they will dump it off. They got him again. Brugling inside the 5, inside the end zone for the touchdown. His second of the night.
And he just can't do anything wrong. And again, made a guy miss. That looked like a bit of a broken play. It looked like there was a miscommunication at the start of that, but I don't think there was. I think there was just sort of an awkwardness in terms of the timing. Powell escaped the pocket, rolled out to his right, And yeah, on the money for Brugling. Brugling makes a man miss. No, Oskiwawa cheers are going on in the background. I don't like that.
Remember, Ben, wins in May are the most important wins.
Yeah, I know. It's something to cheer about for Ticats fans for sure. But yeah, nice play from Brugling. And it was that was George Jr. who he was able to shake out of his boots on the way to the end zone.
4 catches, 75 yards, and a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, not bad.
And nailed it. Extra point is good by Maximuk, and it is 14-3, a minute and a half into quarter number 3. So we will take the timeout. You are listening to Argos football on CFL.ca. We're back. And it will be Herslow and Turner still out there. They are giving him every opportunity to make this team as a receiver / returner. And the wind has blown the ball off. Saw that a couple of times last week in Hamilton. I don't know why that stadium is always windy.
I know.
It's the weirdest thing.
I was on the pregame show with the Hamilton guys, and they mentioned this being another windy night. I'm like, this is... You should be accustomed to this, because every time we've been out to Hamilton, it feels like there's a hurricane coming from one end of the field.
So Maximuk's kickoff. High. The wind will take that a little bit, and it will be Turner at the 9-yard line, looking to the middle of the field, and he'll cut back to the middle and now try to bubble it outside 35, and he's going to run out of room, but still get an extra 6 or 7 yards. Nice return for Turner out to the 47-yard line.
Great return, really nice. He held it. He held the play together. The design run was to the left, and he did that. He followed it through. It was well blocked, but then he saw space open up out to his right, did a little improvising, and was able to beat his man out wide. Anderson for the Ticats is the one that saved that from being potentially a huge return.
Calvin Turner, a couple of years in the XFL / USFL with San Antonio, product of the University of Hawaii. And in at quarterback now is Jarrett Dagey, the former Elk, and he will connect on first down and get about 8 yards as he hits Dorian Anderson, who was late to camp. He is a large target, 6'6", 200.
Yeah, it's a nice guy to be able to throw your first ball to. Diggy, I think we were calling Diggy's first action in Edmonton. Yeah. And, here he is now in Toronto trying to win a job, and we'll see what he can do in the second half.
And he's going to keep it and get the first down, diving forward to the 50-yard line, gain of 5 yards. They'll give him the 49, it looks like, so gain of 6.
He will use his legs. He's not a speedster per se, but he can threaten. We've seen already the Argos staff willing to use him in short yardage situations. He does that well. And here looked like a read option, like a true read option, where he pulled it, kept it himself for that first down gain.
It's his 3rd year in the league. He's a native of Lubbock, Texas. Played at Troy, same school where Bear Woods went. And they will go ground game this time, nothing doing up the middle.
There's a couple of Troy Trojans on this roster. Will Sunderland also playing at Troy.
That was Jiren Mitchell with the carry out of Butler. It'll be second down and 10.
Guy like Jiren Mitchell, he's in tough. There's so many good running backs on this roster. He's hoping right now to be able, I think he's such a long shot to make this roster, just given the talent around him. But you're hoping to put something on film, and maybe another team would come calling if that's how it works out here for him.
3 receivers will go up top, 2 to the near side, back to pass. Dagey comes in the near side, has a man open, has the big target Anderson, who's going to fall forward and should have the first down. Indeed, he does. My favorite thing about Dorian Anderson in terms of trivia, and I know this might amuse me, but nobody else. He went to Southeast Missouri State to finish his NCAA career. He started it at 6'6" at Shorter University. I don't know why that amuses me as much as it does, but that's just me.
He is a tall receiver, and twice now Dagey's gone to him. They've worked together a lot in practice.
And he'll drop back again. 5-man rush, gets rid of the football. And this is Marquise McLean inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. as we're seeing sort of the bench empty now, and the first-year player out of Southern.
And the thing with like Diggy's, he hasn't been in camp long. It's basically been a week that he's been here. Hasn't had time to do a lot, and so you do gravitate towards the guys that you spent time around, and they're able to get the ball to McLean. Another big target. We talked earlier about Demas and carrying 225. I think you've got about that from McLean, if not more. These are big men at receiver. It's the height that you see from Anderson and the mass there from McLean.
Jarrett signed here 4 days ago and yet has that completion down to the 15-yard line. They're in the red zone. 4 days. And he's already out there, and that's Hershey Mayala with the catch. Former Alouette, former Stampeder.
And what we've seen from Daggy is he's playing in rhythm. He's playing in structure. So, and you sort of have to when you haven't been here that long. You know, he's not going to be improvising the way that some of the other guys might. So he takes his drop, makes a read, fires the football.
It is still Jiron Mitchell in the backfield. 3 receivers come to the wide side of the field, closest to your screen. And there's a pass inside the 5, and once again, that's going to be Marquise McLean with his second catch. Inside the 5.
Great throw. Really nice anticipation. He knew exactly where he was going with that football when he saw the defensive alignment, and McLean just made a quick little turn to his left at around the sticks, and that ball was already on its way. It was coming in at about 60 miles an hour. Great catch from McLean. Great awareness to turn around and have that ball right up on you.
Jiron Mitchell on the backfield. You know Mayan Williams wants in there now with the ball at the 2-yard line. The bigger, more powerful back. Daggy's going to throw. He's going to throw a fade, and it was a jump ball. He was looking for the 6'6" receiver Anderson. Incomplete. It'll be second down and goal from the 2.
I've never liked that play. I do not like fades from the 2. You see so many teams do it in every football league because you know you've got one-on-one matchups. You see the height advantage here in Anderson and a much smaller DB. But I think at the 2-yard line, there's so much stuff you can do. Fades to me just seem like more of a coin flip than anything else.
Would you let Ricky Ray throw it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd let Ricky Ray do whatever.
Yeah,
he can do whatever he
wants. Nobody
wants.
threw a better fade route than that man.
No.
And they will go Mitchell. No, it's actually play action, and Daggy's going to walk into the end zone. Preseason for the play-by-play guy who bid on the fake, and it's a touchdown Argos.
2 fakes on that. First of all, the fake to the running back, and then he rolled out to his right and had traffic, had a defender in his face. A quick pump fake there out to McLean, froze the defender, and that's what allowed Daggy to get into the end zone for the touchdown. Really nice drive from a guy who's been here for all of 5 minutes. You'd love to see that from a coaching standpoint. Does that make anyone's job more difficult?
Well, we talked at the top of the show that there are guys playing for their livelihoods tonight, and Daggy would certainly fit into that category. And you want a certain comfort level in your backup quarterbacks when you're the head coach.
Well, he's done nothing to make anyone question what he's doing out there.
Line drive from Laram into the wind goes through, and it is 14-10 as the Argos counterpunch after the touchdown pass by Powell to Brugline. So we'll take the timeout. 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 14-10 Ticats. It's Argo football on CFL Plus. And we are back. 8:06 remaining third quarter. 14-10 Ticats. They'll get the ball back. Low kick by Hiralahu. Check that. That was, it was Hiralahu. And the return will get up across the 40-yard line. And that's where the Ticats will take over first and 10.
Daggy was 5 for 6 on that drive, ends up running in for a touchdown to cap that off. I don't know if I could be any more impressed with him on one drive of preseason football, but he certainly handled himself well for a guy. I don't know if any of us thought he would get too much time being in camp for only a few days, but I guess it makes sense. Like you're not bringing him in for nothing.
Okay, here's the trivia question. Ready to go?
Yep.
So he made his debut. You talked about the game a couple of years ago, threw a couple of touchdown passes to one receiver, one of which bounced off a helmet, and he caught it in full stride. Do you remember the receiver's name who had 2 touchdowns that game?
Canadian receiver.
And if you get this, you win. You win everything. Because I would not have gotten this.
Number 87.
I don't know what number he was. I have no idea.
I was trying to think.
Mookie Mitchell made the catch?
It wasn't Gavin Cobb, was it?
No.
Okay.
Vincent Forbes Montbleau.
Oh, Forbes Montbleau. I remember that play. It was pretty ridiculous because the Argos have played so well defensively all game, and there were these circus plays that ended up, it was a blowout, I think, as I recall. And
well, it was, but they wouldn't go away,
right.
And it was plays like that.
They just kept going, and that one went for about 90 yards or something. Yeah, I remember that was.
It was a wild game.
It was.
But that was Daggy's CFL debut.
Right.
Against the Argos.
Right. Vincent Forbes Montbleau. Yeah, that's got to have been the longest touchdown of his career too.
Home opener is Saturday, June 14th. See, get your Father's Day gift, right? Because Father's Day is on the 15th. 4 o'clock, Calgary, 10,000 replica rings. Championship banner gets raised. Go early, make sure you get a seat. All that good stuff. Argonauts.ca for tickets. First down at the 41-yard line. Taylor Powell still in the game. Bo Levi Mitchell, by the way, is dressed. He was throwing the ball around in warm-ups, but I would be shocked if he sees a second.
I think he would be too.
Yeah, Powell will dump it out.
Oh.
And once again, falling, and basically the same part of the field was the same back who did it in the first half, Trayshawn Ward.
And again on a screen pass. It's the exact same play. First time he dropped the ball, looked like a fumble, was eventually overruled and called an incomplete pass. That time he just lost his footing. He had all sorts of space. It's the second time in a row. I'm sure Hamilton's offensive staff is banging their head against their table because that's twice now they've perfectly timed a screen call and it's gone for nothing. That one loses yards.
2nd and 11 from the 40. Powell has some pressure, unloads one, and it is incomplete. They're going to call that. Looked like there was some grabbing down there, but there is no flag. As on the coverage was Delonte down there.
I'm surprised Powell got up. He was hit really hard, sandwiched by 3 different Argonauts. His teammates had to help scrape him up off the turf, but he shook them off and jogged his way back to the sideline. Great to see that he's okay. That pressure, not a blitz, just relentless pursuit from that Toronto Argonauts D-line. These guys, again, fighting for jobs. This is so important to every player out there on the field right now.
And the man who made that play defensively, Delonte Hood, is in that situation. High kick with the wind, and the wind caught it and carried it. And again, Turner misjudged it. He'll take it at the 10, trying to get the sideline, and he'll get to the 15 and tiptoe down with a flag out across the 20. They'll mark him at a bounce at the 16, but what's the laundry? We'll find out when we come back. 6.5 left in the third quarter, 14-10 for the Ticats. It's Argo football on CFL Plus. 14-10 Ticats over the Argos, who start way back at their own 8-yard line. And Jarrett Dagey was 5 of 6 for 56 yards, scored a rushing touchdown on the last drive. Will throw from his end zone and throw long and incomplete. He was looking again for Dorian Anderson. I think this week they've spent a little bit of time after practice.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like he can only build so many relationships in 4 days, but yeah, he's obviously one of the guys that Dagey spent time with. He just seems to be locked in on wherever Anderson goes. And again, it's 6'6". It's not a bad plan. That's the first pass we've seen from Dagey where he looked a little unsure. That wasn't in rhythm. His first read wasn't there, and he had to buy time. Had a little bit of a nervous footwork as he's back in his own end zone.
2nd and 10. And it is still Jaron Mitchell in the backfield with him. Under pressure, rolling. Now he's going to take off, and he will get to the 15. He's going to get the first down, sliding across the 20-yard line for a gain of 13.
That's a nice weapon to be able to use your legs like that, and you can see how he's a gifted runner in how he set up that block. That didn't look like it was going to go for the first down initially. He had a receiver out to his right, but the Hamilton defender had position, and so he worked to set up that block by challenging inside, gets leverage on the defender, and then was able to bounce outside, use his man for a block, and get a key first down.
Jarrett Dagey, another Troy guy. Was at West Virginia before that, between 2019 and 2021. 2nd in the Big 12 in passing yards one year. And he dumps one off there that is dropped by McLean, Marquise McLean.
That's just a ball McLean has to catch. It was a well-run route. Timing was good. The ball was delivered right on the money at the numbers. And, yeah, he just went off his hands. Couldn't secure the football. But on a night like this where you're doing everything you can to try and make the team, you do not want to put anything on film like that.
He does have a couple of catches tonight. Leading receiver tonight for the Argos is Herji Mayala, 4 catches for 27 yards. Brugling with the Ticats, 4 for 75 and a couple of touchdowns. Here's Daigie again. Standing in there, pocket collapses. He's going to take off again. He's got a lot of running room. He'll get the first down likely, yes. Diving across the 35 to the 36, 13 more yards, and another Argo first down.
Here's what we want to watch for now. We've seen now twice on this drive where Daigie has used his legs. Things have broken down a little bit. He's taken off. What I want to see as a coach now is I want to see you get back to throwing, because it's so easy as an inexperienced quarterback to say, hey, I had success doing this. Let me just keep doing that. And in professional football, you can't go to that well too many times. You're going to end up getting lit up. You're going to stall drives. So let's see him go back to the air here and get back in rhythm.
He is the Argos' leading rusher, 6 carries for 26 yards and a touchdown. And there we have Turner again with a 12-yard gain and a first down.
That's a nice read. Heat coming from that side, and so Daigie knew he was going that way. Turner Jr. had a slant route. The ball was thrown low. Turner had to, and that's a much tougher catch than it looks. He had to go down low. I think it got tipped, actually, near the line of scrimmage. He had to go down, sort of stall his stride, was able to catch that ball and get a first down.
Argos trailing by 4. It's 14-10 with 3:41 remaining in quarter number 3. And it's a screen near side. McLean will have his 3rd catch of the night and get the first down to the 50-yard line. And they ripped it out, and he regained it. One of the Ticats stuck his hand in there and ripped it like he was starting a lawnmower. And the ball came out, but McLean was very, very quick to adjust to that and grab it back.
I experienced 3 different emotions on that play. First of all, it's great to see McLean in space. He's such a big body, and he got going. You could see he dragged Hamilton defenders with him, but they were relentless with their ripping the ball out. It does get free, but again, he has the wherewithal to be able to grab hold of that and then step out of bounds. So that could have been a bit of a disaster, but there were 2 parts of the play for McLean that went really well there, getting some steam, knocking some bodies over, and then getting that ball back before stepping out of bounds.
And it was Patrick Burke again who forced it out. There's an injured Ticat. We'll tell you all about it when we come back. 3.5 left in the 3rd quarter, 14-10 Ticats. Philip Osai was the injured Ticat. He's up and walking off. You know, Argo season tickets are still around. If you're a fan of another team in the CFL, you're going to hate this. Season tickets start $290. That's for a playoff game as well. That's 10 games. Midfield, you can get seasons. Platinum seats for $820. Not bad at all. 9 games plus a playoff game, Argonauts.ca, for all your ticket needs.
That's an amazing price, and not just that. It's the best deal in the city. It's not just a good price for football. That's a great price for anything Toronto to come out and enjoy a game like that. It's cheap food, cheap drinks. To be able to get tickets at that price, you can't beat it.
So the Argos have started this drive at their own 8-yard line, have gotten across midfield. They're down to the 48-yard line of the Ticats, trailing by 4.
Seems like the wind is dying down a little bit. The sun is just set. I think we were probably the last 2 people in the city of Guelph to be able to see that sun just dip over the horizon.
Did you say that the wind has died down?
It looks
look
like
at the flags.
Look at these flags down the right this end. Like these ones are hanging limp. So the wind has died down on half the field. Seems to be the upright flags are not blowing.
Daigie pulled the ball back and threw it to the sideline, and it will be a catch along the far side. Turner again.
That was a great catch from Turner. Not Daigie's best throw. He rolled out to his right. Seemed to have to kind of loft that up a little bit. It hung too, and maybe that's that wind you're talking about there, Mike. But it did hang up, and Turner had to go up and get it and be aware of his footing. He came down just with his feet in bounds for the first down.
A 65-yard drive so far. 3 receivers to the near side, 2 up top. It is Jaron Mitchell in the backfield. Daigie across the middle. Oopsie. As that was Dante Demas. Usually sure-handed.
Demas is a good player. He's a guy that I've been watching carefully because I thought he might be one of those American receivers that can find a way onto this roster. He's got an interesting skill set. He's got that big body. He runs well. And, yeah, usually sure-handed. Just that time seemed to get a bit ahead of himself. I think he was thinking about getting downfield after making the catch, but he hadn't quite done the first part yet.
He had a couple of touchdowns in the Double Blues scrimmage that was held on this field a couple of weeks ago. Safety blitz. Daigie got rocked, throws deep, and it is incomplete. That was a hit.
Yeah, Daigie got hit really hard. He's going to take a little bit of time to shake this off. He's walking towards the Argos sideline now, but just the speed. It was a safety blitz. Safety coming in from miles off, just absolutely clocked him as he released that football. I would like to have seen a little bit more fight from Anderson. He was down the sideline. The DB wasn't looking. If Anderson fights back for that ball, that often gets called pass interference, but he wasn't able to help out his quarterback in that case.
So comes the man who graduated as the leading scorer in youth sports history, Liram Hairolahu. From 44, snap, good, hold, good, missed it, to the left. And will it be run out? Yes, it will be. There's a gap, and now a big hole. Bye-bye. That is going to go maybe the distance, as Phillip Brooks will finally get caught, but a monster return after a wide field goal from Hairolahu.
Hairolahu is the one who made the tackle. I don't want to see that at all.
Let him go.
Yeah, I think at this, knowing what this game is, but it's hard. It's so hard to turn the competitor off in people, and he is that. He just didn't want that coming back. But this is tough. Field goal teams, when you miss a field goal in the CFL, you are in trouble because the field is so wide, and you've got all those big bodies out there as basically as your O-line. And that's what happened on that play. Some of these guys that just weren't able to kick cover, and Liram bailed them out.
Tyson Herget out of Waterloo was back there as well. I think Brooks was concerned with him and didn't see Liram coming late. There's a sack back outside the 45-yard line. Meeting at the quarterback, and I think that's Kenneth George Jr. who made the tackle.
And Kenneth George Jr. made the tackle. Brevin Allen was one of the guys that made that happen. He got such good push up the middle. I'm just going to take a look at this replay as they give this back to us, but he completely collapsed Hamilton's left tackle back into the quarterback, and that was just as much Allen, newly acquired Brevin Allen, who made that play as it was anyone else.
But we do have a flag on the play. Did you see what it was for?
No, I was so excited about cheering for the Campbell fighting Camel, Brevin Allen.
Brevin Allen signed here on May 27th.
That's 2 days ago.
That was 2 days ago.
That's something. But he's a player. He's a guy to watch. They had the unfortunate injury last week to Brian Cox Jr., who was expected to be one of the stars on this defensive line this year. And the signing of Brevin Allen, I think, lifts the spirits of that D-line a little bit because he is something. He's fun to watch. Spent a little bit of time in the NFL, had a couple games played, I think, with the LA Rams, and here he is in Toronto.
Kenneth George lined up at the Sam linebacker spot right now. Pass over the middle goes incomplete. He was throwing in the direction of Trayshawn Harrison, but no good. Coverage on the play was provided by Bryce Hampton.
We should have written all of our notes with glow-in-the-dark markers because it is getting dark in this booth in a hurry. I don't think either of us have very good night vision.
We have no light in the booth. It's kind of dark in here, which actually makes me look a lot better, so I'm not bad with that. Field goal attempt is up and through by Maximuk. And it is now 17-10 as the Ticats regain a touchdown lead. 36 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
Now we didn't see that too much last week. It was a really good football game, and I'm wondering, with so many guys fighting for roster spots, so many talented guys on both squads too, maybe that doesn't happen here.
And there is Mitchell up the middle. He'll get across midfield. Gone. See ya. It'll be a 60-yard touchdown run. And the Argos, just like that, have tied it up in the dying seconds of quarter number 3.
We talked about how tough it is for a guy like Mitchell with this running back room filled with stars to really create an impression. Well, that's a way to do it. You saw him flash speed there. He went through the hole and he was gone. You called touchdown with about 40 yards left to go because you could just see his pace. It looked like Secretariat out there coming down the stretch, just blasted away from everybody else.
And you can see as soon as he got that second burst, right there, gone. Convert is good as Hairolahu makes up for the missed field goal. Will it convert, and it's 17 all on the final play of quarter number 3. We'll come back with the final 15. You are listening to Toronto Argonaut football on CFL.ca. Quarter number 4 about to start as the Argonauts get the big, officially a 70-yard run by Jaron Mitchell to tie this thing up. Kickoff is deep, and it will be taken at the 5-yard line, and getting drilled at the 24-yard line was Phillip Brooks.
These Hamilton returners have had some nice returns, but they've taken shots too. And when you're a smaller returner, it's scary to see because you know that you're not setting yourself up for longevity there. The way that these guys are going into some of these returns, I love it. I love the enthusiasm, but yeah, a couple of these guys have taken far bigger hits than you'd ever like to take on a return team.
I believe we have Harrison Frost in at quarterback now. Yes, we do. No, sorry. My bad. That's Gavin Hardison in at quarterback now for the Ticats. And they will go to the ground for a gain of 3.
On that touchdown run by Mitchell, if you want to know like what the backup Argos line looks at the moment for this game, he had Darius Sirocco and Peter Nicastro out blocking for him in front. 2 all-stars that created quite a path. A huge hole for him to fly through.
Sirocco back after undergoing hip surgery last year. He played the first couple of games for the Argos a year ago and then needed the surgery. Had it done. He's back, trying to regain his starting job. Has looked good in camp. As we see Hardison deliver a strike for a first down. He was in Miami's camp a year ago, then came up here in February after not playing last year after being released by the Dolphins.
Kenneth George Jr. was in on coverage on that pass to Brugling. He's playing the Sam spot now, and we saw Rutledge start there. George Jr. has been getting a lot of reps there too. You need to make sure you've got a few players on the team that are comfortable moving down there should an injury occur.
George did play there last year. The running play doing nothing on first down. Good penetration by the defensive line. Atlius Bell among those in there. But last year when he joined the practice roster with the Argonauts, and then subsequently did get some reps at halfback, but he did play Sam last year in practice quite a bit, so he knows the position. Rutledge is the favorite. Tyshawn Blackburn, the second-year Argo, has also been playing quite a bit of Sam, so it's kind of a 3-man race, and I think it's safe to say right now Rutledge has the advantage.
Yeah, he looks good.
4-man rush, now pressure from deep. They call it perfect call, getting the screen set up. And that time, Trayshawn Ward did not fall down on the screen pass. Makes the catch and will get a decent gain. He'll give it a halfway to the first down, but it's a 3rd down, and the Argos will again send Calvin Turner Jr. up to receive the punt.
I think it was Charles Brown Jr. who made the tackle on that. He read that from a fair ways away, was able to close space and prevent the Ticats from getting a first down. It's the 3rd Ticat screen, the first one that has actually looked like the way it was supposed to, the way it was drawn up.
Josh Green will unleash this one out of Oregon State. That's a good kick into the wind. It'll hit at the 25, and Turner will pick it up at the 20 and look for the sideline and get some of the yardage back off the hop And the Argos will take over at their own 28-yard line with 12 minutes left in quarter number 4. Tied at 17. This is Argo football on CFL. And Kevin Brown back in the backfield with him. He'll now bleed out into the route. And we will catch the ball and get the first down out to the 41-yard line. That was a definite, I'm going to follow you into the defensive secondary and throw you the football. He had eyes only for Kevin Brown.
Yeah, he looked at him the whole way. Brown basically was trailing a receiver downfield. I think that was Herslow.
Yeah.
He was basically running in Herslow's wake. And you can create great separation there. It's tough for a DB to jump that route. So Herslow keeps going. Brown hooks up around the sticks, and they're able to complete that pass for our first down.
We have a whistle, and they're going over to the Ticat bench. Head coach Scott Milanovic over there.
Is he throwing a challenge flag for something in the fourth quarter of the second preseason game? It looks like he might be.
He may be. Let's see if we can find out what this is. He definitely caught it. They are saying illegal interference. Now, there was contact, and we'll see if Jake Herslow, there was another receiver over on that side as well. As you mentioned, Herslow did make contact.
He did. He's running his route. This is a pretty...
No.
I don't think so. Like,
no.
I think the Hamilton player fell over. I can see what Coach Milanovic is seeing from the other sideline. But
from his angle, too.
His angle, it would have looked like that, but from the view that we had up here, we could see the Hamilton player fell on his own. Herslow was nearby.
But this is good. You can go through the challenge process. Let the league, the guys.
That's true. It's
new
preseason
personnel
for them as well. They need the reps.
Andrew Wakefield, this is his, I think it's first game as a head official. I don't know if he did last week anywhere. So go through the process.
Well, they are doing that, so they're looking at this back at the command center. We'll see what they come out with.
And here's the call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Toronto.
So, no penalty. First down at the 41.5.
That's the right call.
So now they'll single up Shane Hooks. Oh, now they empty out the backfield. So Brown is over there with him. 4 receivers come to the near side. Oh, there's an offside. And Horn will take advantage of it. Throw a comeback route for 7 yards. Demas with the catch.
I thought we might see a shot there. Often when you know you've drawn someone offside, you launch it. And he had Herslow on a seam route. It would have been 50-50.
But if it's a penalty. Dante Demas showing off in front of Scott Milanovic. A couple of Maryland products. Terrapins. Do you like their helmets? Do you like that scheme? Do you like it's a mess?
I don't. I appreciate that it's the state flag, basically, and their state flag is a bit of a mess. Like, no offense to
it's busy.
anyone from Maryland. There's just a lot going on, a lot of concepts. Like, let's just put all these designs together. But, yeah, I think it's kind of cool. It's just not for me.
First down and 5. They empty out the backfield again and go over the middle, and there is Herslow with the catch. Down to the Hamilton 50, and that's another first down.
I like to see that because that looked like the mirror image of a play they missed on earlier. Remember earlier they had a bit of a miscommunication where Herslow sort of stopped and stutter stepped, didn't know if he was going to sit down in the zone or carry through, and neither he or Horn were really sure of where to put that football. That looked like the same play coming from the other direction. This time Herslow sat. It looked like Horn knew he was going to sit and was able to complete that pass for a first down.
Snaps a little high. They go play action, and they were looking there for McLean. It was knocked down. And got another banged up defender, and that's Kendarius Smith.
I would like to see a replay of that. That looked like an RPO, just not from the O-line. Everybody else looked like, no, it was an RPO. Yeah, you can see on the replay, you see they did have linemen downfield as you had Peter Nicastro climbing to the next level. So, yeah, an RPO where the correct read was made by Tucker Horn. They just couldn't connect there with McLean.
Was
who
he
had
too far downfield?
The glance route. Probably, but they will usually let that go a little bit.
And there's Horn going to the far sideline. Has a man at the 30-yard line. It is caught for the first down. And that is Marquise McLean, who got up rather gingerly.
That's Hooks.
Oh, it's Hooks. Sorry, that's 89, not 85.
Yeah, he's got to go down and take a knee. He got twisted awkwardly. Oh, I hate to see that. Especially, you could see the frustration, too, by Demas, who's beside him. Because Demas knows. He was right there, and he saw what happened. Where, first of all, it's a beautiful play from both Hooks and the quarterback, Tucker Horn. And he just got sort of gator rolled after making that catch. His ankle looks like it got twisted up.
We'll take the timeout. 9:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. It is 17-all. You're listening and watching Argo football on CFL.ca. Shane Hooks is up and walking off. That is good news. Doesn't even look any worse for wear. And thankfully, it looks like the first television appearance for Josh Schuel and Mark Belmore, the therapy crew for the Argos. You love it when you don't say a therapist's name ever in a football game.
Yeah, you hope not to. It's a great sign to see him. He's, I don't want to say gingerly because I can't see a limp, but he's certainly walking slowly. It was just a heck of a football play, and that young man has had such a good camp. He's been a favorite target for so many different quarterbacks for the Argos, and after making a great play like that, you just hate to see a guy go down. Hopefully that is just a bit of a twisted ankle and something that he can tape up and keep at it, because he's done everything he can to earn a spot on the squad.
So now Horn is 7 of 13 for 76 yards.
Much better second showing. He struggled a little bit. We haven't really seen that from Horn so far. He was great in the double blue scrimmage, great last week, putting up really good numbers. Had a tough first half today, and so to come back and get another chance at it, and I'm sure he was waiting for that on the bench.
First time I think the Argos have run a bunch. They've got that over on the left side, two receivers underneath, and they will go play action. And it is caught on the bounce by Turner, who will take it down to the 10-yard line, and it's a first down in the red zone.
That was dangerous. Just popped that ball up in the air, but was able to grab it. That's another RPO from the looks of things. Zorn coming across the formation with a block, and Horn got that out as quickly as he could. Turner was getting really close to the safety as he reached out and made that catch. I think might have been just peeking downfield to see where he was going to have to make a move, and that's what allowed the ball to flap in the air. But he got it back, got the first down.
First and goal from the 10. Horn looking end zone, back of the end zone, and overthrown. And no flag, it'll be second down and 10.
He's looking for Demas on a little bit of a slot fade into the corner of the end zone. Again, not something I'm a huge fan of, but but it's always the mismatch, right? Like the quarterbacks know that too. When they see that they've got a height advantage on their DB, and this time we're talking about 4 inches, that's a big deal. And so he wants to take that shot, give his guy a chance to make a play, and more often than not they do. When I get down here, I don't know. There are other things I want to do with the football.
Second and 10. 3 receivers will go up top. 3 now each way as Brown goes into the pattern. They'll throw it to the 5-yard line where it is caught, spun off, and going into the end zone is Calvin Turner Jr. And the Argos have the lead for the first time tonight.
What a nifty little bit of running. So often you see these guys who dazzle in the kick return game, and coaches want to put them in situations that mirror that. I don't think that's what that play was necessarily. It's just a short pass, short route, but it kind of looked a little bit like a return once he got out there. There were bodies flying all over the place. He was patient, made a couple steps, and then accelerated forward into the end zone for the touchdown. Nice play. Low catch, pretty awkward ball for him to go down and get, but yeah, did his job after that.
Well, a battle for maybe the last American spot on the roster in terms of receivers. Turner hadn't hurt himself tonight, that's for sure.
No, he's done a lot well. He had that one kickoff return where he kind of bobbled it. They ended up at the 1-yard line, but everything else he's done was really positive.
6 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown now.
That's a good day.
Yahtzee, extra point is good. And that was Alfredo Gachuz with the extra point, and it is now 24-17 Argos. with 8 minutes remaining in quarter 4. We'll take the timeout. It's Argo football on CFL.ca. Argos with the lead for the first time. It's 24-17, 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Hogan and Grant with you here at Guelph. Alfredo Gachuz with a deep kickoff inside the 5-yard line. And again, it's another nice return for the Ticats as they've had a couple of guys who show that they can just get going. That's Phillip Brooks again.
He's fun to watch. I do like watching Phillip Brooks as a returner. As I said, he's not afraid to put himself in harm's way, and he's got some explosiveness. That was a great kick from Gachuz. We're not used to seeing that sort of distance from him. I know there's a little bit of, like, the wind's still there, but that was going to land at about the 2-yard line if Brooks had let it go.
Fredo led the Mexican League in scoring 5 times and came very close to making the Pittsburgh Steelers before he came to the Argos. There's a little bit of pressure and an incomplete pass as Hardison remains in the game for the Ticats. Matt Landers was the intended receiver out of the University of Arkansas.
And that was Deshaun McCarthy who applied the pressure. He just went flying right through the middle of that line. I thought he was going to come up with the sack, but yeah, just able to get that football away for an incomplete pass instead.
I can't tell you how much I got a kick out of you using your phone flashlight.
Oh, we're in the dark here.
There are no lights
I'm
here.
in the dark here. It's unusual, so I have to use my phone flashlight to look at depth charts and rosters.
Oh, they're bringing some pressure now, and running for his life is Hardison, and he's lucky to get it away as they brought 6. I talked to Jim Barker before the game last week, and he was talking about a situation where he was with Jim Barker. They were together in Montreal, and I think he said they were playing Ottawa. They had a young quarterback in the league. And Matthews said to his defensive coordinator, I want you to blitz every play because I don't want them to have film. And they did. They sent pressure every play. Quarterback couldn't read coverages. He was just running for his life.
That's so annoying, though.
That's so Matthews. Rest in peace, Donald. The Don. Well, the touchdown maker, Calvin Turner Jr. is going to come up and catch it at the 45-yard line, cut it out to the right side, find a hole, and that closed in quickly. Looked like he might be able to squeeze through. So the Argos will take over. 6:47 remaining in quarter number 4. It's 24-17 for the Argos.
It looks like Tucker Horn's being sent back out there for another drive. Let's see if he can continue what he got going on that last drive. The drive that ended in a touchdown pass to Turner Jr. I love that Matthews story. That's going to stick with me.
Yeah, you're going to do it now the next time you're
I've done some similar things. That one's, but I'm not coaching at the pro level. It's a little different.
And they will go ground game, and it's Mitchell, Jaron Mitchell back in, and he'll get close to first down yardage. In fact, they'll mark him a half-yard past the down distance to get. So it's first down Argos, 6:18 remaining.
He has found a way to show off his speed, and that's something he didn't really have an occasion to do last week or in the double blue game for that matter, where he just never really got into open space. But twice now we've seen that burst where he gets a little bit of freedom and just seems to have another gear that most of the guys don't have.
We got into the Matthews stories, and Jim was talking about Don and how he handled quarterbacks in preseason. Tonight, second game, neither Nick or Arbuckle nor Bo Levi Mitchell have hit the field for obvious reasons. We'll pick that up after this play. First down from the 42. And once again, it's Jaron Mitchell who'll get about halfway home. So Matthews had 2 of the great quarterbacks. If there's a Mount Rushmore of Canadian quarterbacks, CFL quarterbacks, I don't think there's any doubt that Doug Flutie and Anthony Calvillo are going to be on that Mount Rushmore. And Don just said, do what you want to do. So Flutie he wanted to play 3 quarters in the first preseason game and 2 quarters in the second one. And Calvillo wanted to play 1 quarter in the first game and 2 quarters in the second game. So one wanted to play a little less, one wanted to play a little more. But Matthew said, hey, you guys are the meal ticket. Do what the hell you want. Second down and about 5, and it will be Mitchell again. He's got a big hole and will take it down to the 25. That is good for 7 yards and a double blue first down. Check that. Good for 12 yards and a first down.
Another nice burst. Has 2 runs up the middle now, so we've seen Mitchell go to the outside. That big touchdown run was a play that he broke to the outside. The first run of this drive was a play he took to the outside, but those last 2 plays, quick strikes up the middle, and he's now found a way to use that explosion, that burst, before he even gets to the line of scrimmage. And those 2 plays in a row now has flown through the gap at full speed.
Quantrez Knight, one of a couple of UCLA linebackers playing in this game tonight. Cameron Judge of the Argos also was a Bruin. And here's Jaron Mitchell again inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line for 9 more. So he's over 100 yards tonight.
Yeah, with that big run, that helps, obviously. They're doing a lot of evaluating of Zorn at fullback. He's played a lot tonight as a tight end. They've used him as sort of an H-back. They're really seeing what he can do as a blocker, and that's another play, a couple times now actually, where big runs have come in Zorn's direction, not necessarily because of him, but he's out there doing his job as part of his assignment.
Second down and half a yard. And Mitchell still in the backfield, and will get it again, and got drilled and maybe lost a foot. So it'll be third down and short. So you mentioned Zorn on the previous play. Istvan Asibo-Dadzi of the Argonauts and Devin Verisic of the Tigers, all draft picks from the University of Windsor. So J.P. Surselli, whose brother Joe, used to play with the Argonauts back in the day as an offensive lineman. They kind of have that family. The dad was a great coach in youth sports as well, but the Surselli family business is Windsor Lancer football, and they've done a nice job down there.
Yeah, they've really turned that program around nicely. They are a force to be reckoned with and have been for the last few years.
Should mention Patrick Donovan is the defensive coordinator. His brother Mickey is the special teams coordinator with the Argos. And they were trying to draw the Ticats offside. And
Time count violation. Toronto. 5-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
so they're not going to run the sneak. They're going to kick the field goal instead. But we've hit the 3-minute warning, so we'll take the timeout. 2:48 left. The Argos trying to make it a 2-score game on the next play. Can they do it? We'll find out. Come back or just keep joining us here on CFL.ca. We're back. 2:48 left, and Alfredo Gachuz will attempt to put the Argos up by 2 scores here with a 27-ish yard field goal attempt. Snap and holder good. Dave Ungerer is actually out as a holder. And Gachuz nails it. And the Argos have taken a 2-score lead. It's 27-17. Love seeing that. Fredo just come in. He came in late to camp. They changed the visa requirements coming in from Mexico. He didn't realize that. Got stuck for a week. Finally came back and missed a week of camp. And Liram was also late because he was on the injured veterans list. So picked up Mr. Dodge from Laurier who came in, who was let go and picked up by Saskatchewan. So good for him.
It's so nice to have 2 pros like Haralahu and Gachuz who've just been at it forever, just to go in there, smoothly kick a field goal like there's nothing to it.
Thank you to everybody who's joining us tonight. I know it's busy right now. I think the Winnipeg game was supposed to start, but they have a smoke problem from the wildfires, the forest fires. So there was a smoke delay, and they pushed it back. I think we're about an hour away from kickoff out there. Apparently we're supposed to get some of that smoke here in southern Ontario over the next couple of days. Another deep kickoff by Gachuz using the wind at his back. And the Ticats take it back out to the 30-yard line with 2.5 minutes remaining here in quarter 4. So it all starts for real. Big game to start the season in Montreal a week from tonight. TSN 1050. TSN Television, that's where to find it. As the Argos are in Montreal in a replay of the last 3 Eastern Finals.
And that last one had just about everything. You and I were there for it, and wow, that was a game and a half. We went through a range of emotions, let's say, on that day.
And they will run an inside toss, so it is indeed a pass completion. As coming around from the slot was Phillip Brooks, who is, I guess, maybe trying to do the same thing that Calvin Turner Jr. is doing with the Argonauts and trying to show that he's not only a returner but can also play some receiver for you.
It's important to be able to do, especially on a team where you know you've got a guy, like in Toronto's case, in Janarian Grant, to really separate yourself. You have to show that you're more than just that one-trick pony, that you've got a few things you can contribute to offensively too.
So it is a first down, 10 to go now from the 31. And going long down the sideline, back shoulder throw. Was that caught? Hardison with the throw and caught at the 38-yard line. As that was Matt Landers with another catch. He's out of the University of Arkansas.
This is athleticism from Landers. Coverage was good down the sideline. The ball was intentionally underthrown because the Argo defender's running stride for stride, and Landers just put on the brakes, and there was I didn't see who that was in coverage down there. I don't know if that was Nunn Liddell. I'm not sure. I don't want to say that because I'm not sure, but yeah, he just slammed on the brakes and flew right by.
First down from the 38, and left tackle is rocking the boat. And that is going to draw the flag. Preston Wilson out of Oklahoma State, the guilty party.
Procedure. Hamilton number 65. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
When you're 6'4" and almost 300 pounds and you start rocking a little bit, it's kind of hard to stop.
I don't know if they were going to call it until Jeremiah Ojo pointed at it, because he was rocking, and Ojo's like, he's pointing down. He's like, look, this guy's still moving. And at that point, with a player pointing right at him, you have to throw the flag as an official.
Ojo at the bottom of the defensive line wearing 74 was the Argos' first draft pick this year at the 7th spot. And another bomb down the right sideline. That one's going to go incomplete, and a flag comes out. There was some contact, and it was Nunn Liddell, and this is going to go against the Argos.
Yeah, I think that's that same matchup, just going up the rail there.
Toronto number 78. All be played on a foul. Automatic first down.
Nunn Liddell was in good position. He just didn't get his head around and panicked a little bit at the last minute, got his hands involved. But yeah, Harrison's found something that he likes there, and twice now has gone at it. But yeah, the positioning wasn't bad. He didn't need to. If he just gets his head turned around there, he can make a play on that football.
John Nunn Liddell was playing in the UFL last year with the Houston Roughnecks. Ball at the 11-yard line. 10-point Argo lead with 2:17 remaining here in the fourth quarter. And it's going to be Hardison dropping back. Has a man on the near side looking for Phillip Brooks again. Incomplete with Kenneth George Jr., the former Ticat, in coverage.
And a lot of pressure coming from around the edge on both sides. So that ball had to come out maybe just a little bit sooner than Hamilton would have liked. Ojo, one of the players that got in there, he was so good with the Montreal Carabins. Just a guy that could do everything on their defense. Great defense in general. But yeah, he's a player. He's going to be someone to watch. 2nd and 10 from the 11. And going to the end zone, and it is caught or picked off. If it's a simultaneous catch, it's a touchdown, and that's what they're going to rule. Oh,
As going down was Shamar. That's not Shamar Bridges, is it? No. Who is that? That's Trayshawn Harrison out of Oregon State, who's got the catch. I saw the 7, and I thought, no, Shamar Bridges ain't getting in at this stage of the game.
Bryce Hampton was all over this football. I thought for sure he had this pick. Coverage was great. The throw had to come out again. There was terrific pressure from the Argos as both edges collapsed in on the quarterback. He just managed to get rid of that. I thought for sure that was going to be a pick from Hampton, but yeah, somehow it's simultaneous possession. It's the right call when both the defender and the offensive player catch the football at the same time. Then it goes to the offense. So that's the correct call and touchdown. Interesting. This is fun.
We're going for 2.
Yeah, you should. Preseason game. There's no we're not trying to send this to overtime. We're
going for the win.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Make it a 2-point game here.
Well, you don't want overtime. The last thing that these two teams want is overtime.
Nobody on either of these teams wants overtime. I don't think. Maybe a few of the players. Maybe.
No, all you want is to get out of this healthy.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And I don't know what the delay is. The replay official's flag is down, so they've obviously reviewed this.
Yeah, there's the discussion. It looks like the officials are, they're listening in.
Okay, they're going back to Wellington Street, back to the CFL Command Center.
But it's been confirmed now.
It's all good. So Hardison will look things over, drop back. Going to look to the far side, and it is incomplete. Overthrew the intended receiver. He went right back to the well, looking for Trayshawn Harrison. And the man who scored the touchdown couldn't get the 2-point conversion, so the Argos lead 27-23 with 2:04 left.
And Bryce Hampton was there in coverage again. Really nice coverage. Second play in a row. He gave up a touchdown the first play where he had good coverage. That time there was no option. There was just nowhere to put the football. Put it where the only place it was safe, and that happened to be out the back of the end zone.
So if you're Hamilton, do you practice an onside kick here?
I don't.
Well, you want to practice. Well, let's say it's a dangerous play.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if you're making roster decisions based on what you see from guys in an onside kick situation, and so, and there's also over 2 minutes left. I think there's enough time. If you want to win this game as Hamilton, I think the correct thing to do here is kick it away, and you try and get the ball back. You try and force the 2 and out. You should still have plenty of time. But we'll see. The Argos sending a bit of a mix of guys. It's so hard to tell in preseason.
It's preseason.
Yeah,
it's a dog's breakfast by definition.
I'm looking at all these guys going out there. Like, what is...
They got Sluka out there, so they got the hands guys on the outside.
They do. There's a bunch. But Sluka's directing traffic out here, getting his line up in front of him.
Zorn is out there.
Yeah, he's going to be the go guy. Sluka's looking for the ball, and he wants everyone else in a position.
They're trying the onside kick.
Here it comes.
They're lining up for it anyways.
Yeah, I don't think you line up with all this group of guys out here and don't kick it. I think this is coming this way.
It's a high kick. Hamilton has numbers actually, and the ball's loose. And the Argos, I think, fell on it. They had a shot at it. Did they get down and get it?
I don't know. This is going to take some unpiling here. It's going to be a Toronto ball. Yeah, it's Toronto football. That was tight. That ball hung up. It's a perfect situation. Hamilton is outraged. They're jumping up and down, insisting their guy came up with the football. But the officials have already indicated this is Toronto's ball. It was perfectly kicked, and when you're kicking an onside kick into the wind, you want it to hang up there, and it did exactly that. It basically came backwards on its way down, exactly at that required 10-yard depth.
There's no replay that's going to.
No, you're not going to be able to. You will not be able to look at this and change your mind. So.
You would have needed maybe a drone overhead.
A helmet
to get
cam,
that one,
maybe,
or one over on the hill here at Guelph. But there is none. So Tucker Horn's going to come back out and try and kill the last 2 minutes. Exactly 2 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Argos up by 4. And they will go Brown. Somewhat surprised he's still out there. But it's a 5-yard gain. And maybe 4.5. It'll be second down, and Hamilton's going to call a timeout.
And I think Brown's still out there because you have a highly competitive running back room.
Yeah.
There's only so many guys you can carry, and as much as I like Kevin Brown, I think he's a great running back. I think everybody here is fighting, maybe with the exception of Kadeem Carey. I think everybody here is fighting for a job.
Coaches are going to love a block on that play by Dante Demas.
He's got the right, like that's a receiver you don't mind running behind at 225, and he can get moving too. He's got great burst to him. If he connects with you, you are somersaulting backwards as a DB.
There is an injured Ticat on the field. Our view is blocked. Is he getting up? Yes, that is good news. As back on his feet is Quavian White out of Georgia State. The same school that produced one Nicholas Arbuckle, who will get the start a week from tonight in Montreal. TSN Television, TSN 1050 Radio in Toronto. And you can listen to that guy. His name is Ben Grant. He talks on the radio. Three receivers come to the near side. Demas will go up top. They'll set up the screen to the near side. Turner will be swarmed under. One white jersey, 7 black and gold jerseys.
Well, there was a miscommunication out here because they sort of had a bunch out wide, and Turner got the ball in what looked like a quick screen. You've seen, if you've watched Argo football over the last 4 years, you've seen Toronto run this quick screen many times. But on that play, the two blockers ran routes, and so nobody was blocking for him initially. And that's why there were 7 Ticat jerseys all over the place. No one was being blocked. Eventually, I think it was Herzler who came back into the play a little bit, but it was late.
That must not have been a timeout 2 plays ago, because the Ticats have just taken one now. If you're new to the CFL, if you're watching online, you may be a family member of one of the guys trying out for either one of these teams. You can only take one timeout in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Just one of the quirks of the CFL, and if you're new to the CFL, there are many.
Not just that, they lost the challenge in this half as well.
From the 43, the kick is up. Fredo drills it, and the Argos have a 30-23 lead with 1:28 left. So now it sets up the overtime potentially.
Yeah, that's exactly what they've gone and done. And you can bet if somehow Hamilton comes down the field in the last 128,
they're going for 2.
They're going for 2, no matter what. Like, that's something you can book that. But we'll see. This is a good chance for the Argos defense to look a little better than they did on that last drive. Hamilton, especially on the corners, it looked like they were getting picked on. Nunn Liddell was victimized for a long penalty that kept that drive going, and a couple of exciting plays involving Bryce Hampton in coverage, where he got the better of his Hamilton counterpart, I think on both occasions, and yet Hamilton still came away with the touchdown. We'll see if this group can redeem themselves once Hamilton takes over.
So Fredo will tee it up at the 30. And deep.
They're giving him so much respect now after those last 2 deep kickoffs.
Phillip Brooks is back. There's no question Fredo's got a strong leg, and with the wind behind him, you get it up and let Mother Nature help you out.
And he has been putting height on this ball, and that's what's really helping it.
There's another one. A tighter spin than the other ones. Will knock it down at the 10-yard line. And now to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, and pick it out at the 35-yard line. And Varga's going to fall on him for good measure to make sure he didn't get up again. And now we've got an injured Argo, and that is never good to see.
No, especially at this stage. And I think that's Asibo Dadzi, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. Istvan Asibo Dadzi. We were talking about the Windsor contingent here. And he was one of the Argos draft picks. I know you really liked him, just maybe a little lower than where the Argos took him, in the 4th round, 30th overall this year.
Yeah, he's a fun player. He's really exciting to watch, and just at this stage of the game, a minute 20 to go. You know, training staff out there right now looking at his right leg. You hope that you're just hoping that this is something minor, that this is a cramp or something like that. It was hard to see what happened to him on that play.
I wrote a story from the War Room for Argonauts.ca, and I went around the table and asked guys who they really liked and would pound the table for. I asked for the first round. Ojo was a guy that came up more than once. And when it came to the later round picks, I asked John Murphy who he'd pound the table for, and the only name that he said was Istvan Asibo Dadzi.
Yeah, that says something. You know, Murphy's such a good talent evaluator, and if that is a guy that is fighting for you, that says something pretty good about what you've been able to do and what you've been able to put on tape. Asibo Dadzi is walking now very gingerly, but I love that he's able to put weight on his right leg. They're watching him very carefully, but he's really determined to walk off himself.
Jason Shavers, co-defensive coordinator. You're the English guy. Is it defensive co-coordinator or co-defensive coordinator?
Football doesn't follow those rules.
No,
so
it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know the correct way to say that. I say co-defensive coordinator. That's what I use.
Back to pass is Hardison. We know he likes to throw the deep ball. This time he's just going to swing it out into the flat. He's got Trayshawn Ward, who's knocked out of bounds to stop the clock. Short of the first down? Yes, by not much, by a yard. They'll mark it at the 44 with 1:13 left. Ticats down 7.
Pretty conservative defense there from Toronto, and that's not really a surprise. A modest rush, but that second level really dropping back about 15 yards downfield, keeping everything in front of them.
They need a yard on second down. Hardison back to pass, 4-man rush. He'll dump it out. He'll get the first down across the 45 to the 47, as that was caught by Isaiah Zuber.
Some of these players, some of the new Americans especially, they're looking at the clock. There's like a minute left. Like, there's no time to go 5 yards at a time. In the CFL, if you're quick and efficient, you can put a bunch of plays together in a quick drive.
There's another completion to midfield and then some, and getting out of bounds is Matt Landers. His second catch. I said earlier he had 2 catches. That's his second catch. He had been targeted once earlier.
That time he just found a lot of space. There's a clear out over top, and he just kind of sat down underneath. Nobody was really near him. He was able to catch it and easily get out of bounds without really being threatened. So now the Tiger Cats are inside the Toronto 50.
Here comes some pressure from George. It's picked up. Hardison goes in this. Ooh. That woulda, coulda, shoulda been picked off. Jai Nunn-Liddell needed another step. That was it.
But that would have been such a good redemption for Nunn-Liddell. You're hoping to see him come up with that. He read that perfectly, but just a little bit out of his reach. There's nothing he could have done to catch that, but he sold out trying to catch it through the air like Superman, fully extended.
2nd and 10 from the 49. Ticats need the touchdown, trailing by 7, 50.4 seconds left. Pressure again from George. Free shot. And they'll dump it out to the flat, and not getting the first down, a couple of yards shy. Once again, is Trayshawn Ward, who's been busy tonight.
Love that blitz. It came in late. I don't think Harrison knew that it was coming, and George, hit him basically square in the back, gave him a shot.
So here we go. Here's ball game, 3rd down and 2 with 37 seconds left. Argos in a 4-man front. They'll bring 5 again with George. And Hardison is going to throw an incomplete pass, and the Argos are going to win this game. 29.7 seconds left. And we haven't seen a ton of pressure all night long from the Argos, but boom, 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 3 times in a row they send the sound.
Yeah, they just decided that's it, enough of this backing up, because that's what they did to start the drive. It was, 3 or 4 plays in a row of kind of playing prevent, and I think that was enough for Ivan and Shivers. They're like, let's stop this right here, send some pressure, and it worked. On that play, even if that ball is complete, you had Brown Jr. in coverage. I think he would have been at least close to be able to stop the Hamilton receiver before getting the first down. So well played defensive series to close out this game for Toronto.
Even though it's preseason, you do love the words victory formation. And if you're an Argo, especially when it's against Hamilton.
Wins feel good against anybody. You play to win. You grow up, trying to win every game you play, and it doesn't matter if it's preseason or not. I know the objectives are different. Coaches are evaluating, but as a player, as a coach, as anyone tied to the organization, you want to win. You want to win games.
Like Darius Smith of the Ticats went up there and went after one of the Argo linemen who's about literally a foot taller than he is. So this should do it. There's a knee at 5 seconds left, and they're just going to start the clock, or are they just going to end it?
This one's a little too much. 5 seconds, a little too much. 0.5, they let it go last time.
Well, Tucker Horn's got to learn how to do this, right?
Yep.
As he is in a quarterback, and the Argo fans, a nice round of applause for their heroes. As clock hits 0, the knee is taken, and the Toronto Argonauts end up with a split in their preseason series with the Hamilton Ticats, 30-23. To maybe get the boat sailing in the right direction as we get ready for the regular season debut 1 week from tonight in Montreal as the Argos take on their arch nemesis, the Alouettes.
This ended up a pretty high-scoring game after what was a slow start. Scoreless first quarter, and there were some moments where 7-3 at the half, and then things erupted. It started with a 70-yard run from Mitchell, and then it just was back and forth really throughout that 3rd and 4th. And not, for the most part, it wasn't sloppy football. We saw some really good plays, some great runs, some beautiful catches, some one-on-one victories for the defense, for the offense. All in all, a good football game. And, hopefully everybody's able to get out of here relatively healthy. And we'll have to wait and see as to cut-down day looming. I guess it's by tomorrow. Decisions have to be made, Ben. It's such a tight turnaround. That's a lot to put on a coaching staff or a front office to say, okay, we got 12 hours. A lot of the work's done in advance. You look at a few guys in particular, but it doesn't make it easy.
There are some decisions, and guys like Jaron Mitchell and Calvin Turner Jr. didn't make it any easier.
Nor did Jared Dagey.
Neither did Jared Dagey, neither did Tucker Horn. I mean, there were a lot of good things tonight shown by the Argos, and I know when they look at the film, they're going to like some play. You mentioned a couple of veterans throughout the night. One name that we mentioned often was Joey Zorn, who's trying to win a job as sort of a fullback / special teams guy, and he did nothing to hurt himself tonight.
And that's a tough task because that's a new position for him too, right? Like, he was the feature back, and he's not used to being in there in sort of a fullback blocking exclusive sort of role.
So that's I think going to do it from us, from our standpoint tonight. Final score is 30-23. Don't forget that the season opener is a week from tonight at Percival Molson Stadium in Montreal. Argonauts take on the Montreal Alouettes, and you can watch the game on TSN. You can stream it. You can listen to the game on TSN 1050 or stream the radio broadcast or simulcast it. Ooh, listen to the Argos-centric broadcast. And don't forget the home opener is 2 weeks from tomorrow, June the 14th. It's a Saturday afternoon game. What a great schedule the Argos have for a home schedule this year, with 6 Saturday afternoon games, or 5 Saturday afternoons, 6 Saturday games, and just 3 on Friday night. No Thursdays, no Sundays, no Mondays, no Tuesdays, no Wednesdays. It's a really good schedule. The first one is the 14th, the day before Father's Day. What a great gift. Come out to the game. If you're one of the first 10,000 at BMO Field, you will get a replica Grey Cup ring. And I have no idea what they look like because I haven't seen the real ring yet. The Argos will do the ceremony a week from Sunday, 2 days after Montreal. So unless you're on the ring committee, none of the players, none of the staff, we haven't seen them yet. So we're all excited about that as well. The banner, championship banner, the 19th Grey Cup banner will be raised as well at BMO Field. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Purchase your tickets now, argonauts.ca. We hope to see you at the opener. Thank you, Armando, our technical whiz kid tonight. I don't know why I thank you, but I did. The legend. And thanks to you, Mr. Grant. X's and Argos podcast, when will it be up?
It'll be up soon. JB and I are going to try and get this thing recorded in the next few minutes. We'll start and we'll post it. So look for the X's and Argos post-game reaction podcast on your favorite podcast provider or YouTube.
For the entire crew, my name is Mike Hogan. Thank you so much for listening. Saying goodbye to Guelph and goodbye from Guelph. 30-23, the final score. Argos with the win. You have been watching and listening to Argonaut football on CFL.ca.